Hi there, everybody. I didn't realize that we were still in preview mode. I thought that we were actually streaming. So, also I didn't hit save. I've been a little bit flustered this week. I apologize, everybody. I'm going to get through it. I'm on my Friday. It's going to be a good night. We're going to fire through it. We're going to triumph. And then, we're going to be gathering ourselves, moving forward triumphantly. Man, this hat is already hot. My goodness, this is going to be a warm night. I can already tell. But hello, everybody. Sorry to not start a little bit sooner. But did Joe cut his hair?
No.
It's just tucked back?
It's just all up under the hat. I do that sometimes.
Hello, everybody. I can see Tebin, Jatron, Doro, Jonas, Geekfo. Oh, wait, that's us.
Still important. I'm glad you're here, TJ.
Right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us, having a good time. I'm going to assume that that is not accurate. But nonetheless, thank you to all the amazing people who are joining us here today.
Yep.
It should be an interesting one. We're going up against the Pro Tour. And, well, that doesn't bode well. So, we'll see what happens with it. But we've got Legacy. I believe first round just went up, which means that Joe is just about to go find us a sweet, sweet match.
All right.
And we're going to have a good time tonight. I hope you all like the hat. MBCA, it's great to see you, though I have a feeling... Weren't you asking about Legacy on that last Modern stream?
I think you forgot the cap at the end of your comment.
Yeah, let's see. But let's get something sweet. There's actually, like, how many players?
I think about 10 players tonight.
Okay.
Not
Cool.
sure on the
4
exact
rounds,
count,
though.
but yep.
Enough for 4.
Exactly.
Okay. Cool. Sleeper, Sith Jedi, Mercury, MBCA, it's great to see you. Time to put out my tweet. Let's see what we can do. Let's see here. I'm going to say come join the Cool Kids Club. Cool Kids Club. Legacy time. And then I'm going to link us. Right? How does that work? By the way, fun fact of development. Yesterday, I'm not sure some of you were there, and we ended up having some technical difficulties, but I did get to stream with Todd Stevens, and that was pretty fun. So we're looking at doing that again in the future. I still recognize some of you who were there. Hopefully you had a good time. Honestly, let me know how it was, because I've never done anything like that before, and any way that I can improve it for the future, since we are thinking about doing it more in the future, would be helpful. Alright, so, Jatron,
Alright.
you're here watching instead of going to your own Legacy FNM? Man, you must really care.
I gotta say, I'm pretty excited about who we got for round 1. Got Donovan against the wall playing Blue Red Delver. Playing against Coleman, who's borrowing Harpies.
Oh, you know what? Of all the people who could pilot this deck, and okay, so let's call it the Cavern Harpy Special.
All right. He asked if you could borrow it before the event for just like some fun playtesting because he's always curious about it.
And then he fell in love with it.
Actually, I don't know if he actually even played it, but he's going to be playing it in the actual event.
The last time I be doing accents, we'll end up losing a bunch of people. I probably won't be doing it too much tonight. What's up, Teddy Swain? It's good to see you.
Yep.
All right.
And
give us
hey.
In 10 seconds or less. Describe Cavern Harpies.
It's kind of like Allure, but instead of playing the Allure combo and Allure, you're playing Aether Vials and Stoneforge Mystics of WinCon.
ETB the deck. Let's head on down and have some fun. It's time for round 1. Alright, so is Harpies the new pet deck? Actually, this...
Oh, you saw Chase Hansen playing it on stream.
Was he playing it on...
Coleman was telling me that Chase was playing it. It's a slightly different list from his. Chase is the original creator of the deck, and then I kind of took it over when Chase went back to playing Reanimator.
This deck has been around for, what, 4 years? Maybe 3?
I think 2. No, Chase has been working on the list since Cavern Harpy was printed. We didn't get a functional list for it until we got Baleful Strix and Stoneforge.
Okay.
It was originally 2-color. It's now
like
up
7
to
years.
4. Yeah, I mean, it's been very, very experimental list for quite a long time. The first real one happened at Dylan's previous location. Are there any lands decks? There's a good chance of it.
Let's see.
Chris Young is in the room. I'm not sure if he's playing, but he does own lands. So
there's a lands player here.
is this a Yu-Gi-Oh deck?
Not sure what. No, that's a merge in standard. Nailed it. Alright, so hello to everybody. SOCOM,
Yep.
a prompt wave. Put it up there.
Oh.
It's a wave back. They gave us that one.
Okay.
Yes. But hi, everybody. I'm actually already impressed. We've gotten over 10 people, which was kind of my goal today. How good is a Krenko Mob Boss deck in a Goblin Artifact deck? It depends on what format you're going for, but in Legacy, it's going to be hard.
Yeah, I wouldn't go for it. I'd say traditional goblins would be your best bet there.
Looks like they're going for the mono white D20s. Or,
They're using the
deck?
Greater Gargadon dice for life totals.
Well, I mean, we tried that once, and actually people weren't thrilled about it.
Using the mono white.
But I actually kind of like them. So let's see how it goes. Everybody,
Yeah.
let us know what you think of the new dice.
Mm-hmm.
Sleeper, how many players tonight? How many were there for Wednesday? And last, well, okay, so tonight I think there's like between 10 and 12.
Yeah, it's a 10 to 12, just a solid 4-round Legacy event.
For Modern, we had a smaller crowd of like 20.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Is
Modern.
that how many there were?
Like, I still have yet to do the virtual story there, and then actually the winning deck from Modern was Affinity. It was actually my
really?
Affinity deck, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Steven piloted it to a 4-0.
That's pretty rad. I will say I'm quite proud. I ended up going 3-1, but agreed to split the last round, so on paper 2-1-1, but
So you suck.
yeah, basically.
2-1-1. Garbage.
I mean, 3-1, I had all my rounds end in 2 games.
It was like 20? Okay. Yeah, 20
Nice.
on it was actually smaller too. Like it was
You're right. I know I've seen some pretty packed house in here for Modern
Yeah.
recently.
We had 2 people drive from Izaquata to come play.
Oh, is that where they were from?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, those guys were super cool.
They were pretty cool. So, turn 1 looks like a fetch into a volcanic from Donovan on this blue-red Delver. Yes, let's go ahead and cross over this bridge now. Proxies are allowed. You can have any number as long as they look good enough to be on camera. You can have any number of them.
Yep.
The stipulation is that 1, they do have to look good enough, and 2, any store credit that you win in the events must be spent on the cards that you're proxying.
Right. So you're not going to, I'm just going to play Miracles to win and then spend the money buying 4 Horsemen. No. If you proxy Miracles, you're buying Miracles when you win.
Flipping the Delver with a Stifle. Otherwise, we're getting a Deathrite Shaman coming down for Coleman. I'm going to let you really talk about the lines of play for this Cavern Harpy special.
Yeah, so the Cavern Harpies is a very interesting deck, and that Stifle, while not the highest value card in this matchup, is still something you don't want to see the Delver player flip. Because
hits
now
the
you
Aether
do
Vial.
know it's there. It hits the Vial. Most importantly, it hits your lands. The deck does have a pretty healthy number of fetches. It's running 8 total right now. But
We're actually
You know,
a
I mean-
huge fan of it. We've been doing that policy for, what, 6 months now?
at least, yeah, and it's been pretty successful for us.
We
I mean, it's what's helping the store fire its legacy consistently. And, we've got a lot of proxies in the room. We also have a lot of people who, lend out decks. Like, Harpies tonight is a loner deck.
Yep. There's also Enchantress out there.
No, that is right here.
Oh, it's not out there?
Because
Thank
there was
goodness.
enough.
No, I'm fine.
No,
We don't need it out there.
Because there was enough people in the room to fire, we decided not to play Enchantress tonight.
How do you feel about using the Deathrite Shaman for the Baleful Strix initially, and then using the land for the Aether Vial?
Is an interesting choice.
Is it mostly just to avoid the small potential of like a removal spell in response to the Baleful Strix onto the Deathrite Shaman to prevent another sorcery?
I mean, really, no, because even at that point, you can still use the Deathrite to float mana. I think really what that plays around is an instant speed Delve spell.
Okay.
There's nothing I can think of that would really prompt you to lead using your Deathrite Shaman for mana. Personally, I like to hold it. But, like, an instant speed Delve spell is frustrating because you can't respond to that because they're exiling their
It's the
graveyard to pay
cost
a
of
cost. I remember when that was rampant in Legacy with Dig Through Time, and you did have to play around that a lot.
Sleeper, in ours, with very few exceptions, they must be in color. We will generally allow black and white the first time if someone was not aware of it. But Coleman going for the activation at the end step, I do like that. And are we going to stifle the trigger to put a counter on it?
Interesting.
I think this might be a greedy stifle.
I agree. I mean, it is helping, play tempo in that, it's keeping the Vial inactive for an extra turn.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure that I like it completely. There are better things to stifle, like Coleman's fetches.
Mm-hmm.
But I do like that Coleman went for the Vial for 0 EOT just to try and bait that stifle when there is actually nothing he could have put into play from the entire deck.
And I think Donovan would suspect that with this deck. But
I mean, at a glance, it doesn't look like something that's going to be playing Dryad Arbors, but it's worth a try.
As a quick note to Sith Jedi, what all decks are out there tonight, we honestly don't know.
Mm-hmm.
If you could get like a swift look around when you're out there next, potentially finding a match, then that would be great. We'll try and keep you updated on what we know is out there, but honestly, we aren't entirely sure.
Yeah. I know there's going to be a couple Delvers. I assume lands if Chris is actually playing. There is Colorless Eldrazi, Tezzerator.
Mm-hmm.
I know a couple of them, but for a lot of the room, I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah. So, we got the Young Pyromancer. We do have, Donovan has got a pretty solid field as it currently sits, but that's a Corrupted Court official, correct?
Yep. Court official, the fancy way to say Ravenous Rats.
Oh, I spelled it.
Yeah. No, it's...
I always type fast and it doesn't ever work because I type without looking.
It's just the P3K version of Ravenous Rats. Comes into play, your opponent discards a card.
Mm-hmm. Lash Curve! Good luck in your GPT! Lash Curve is currently in, I believe, Taiwan.
Oh,
and
exciting.
happened to bring a Modern deck on them and happened to find an LGS that they weren't expecting to, and they happen to be running a Modern GPT.
Oh, that's
and
rad!
So they're taking Modern, I think it was going to be Jeskai Control, not Nahiri,
All right.
and I tried to convince them to go to Nahiri,
Mm.
but I'm not sure where they settled. But good luck!
Yeah, good luck to you, man.
Alright.
Pretty rad. Alright, so what we're seeing in this match right now is kind of like what Cavern Harpies is good at. We're seeing just a lot more cards in Coleman's hand right now than Donovan's, because he gets a lot of value off of these Corrupt Court Officials, the Baleful Strix. Coleman should always have an excess of cards. This is one of the few decks that actually draws more cards than Shardless Bug in Legacy.
I actually think that the Corrupted Court Official, it might be kind of the X factor in this game. I think that one alone has just completely invalidated what Donovan has been trying to build.
Oh, yeah, well, and it's something every now and then I consider, is the Corrupt Court Official strong enough to be in the deck? It's, your opponent chooses what they're discarding. It's not that, it doesn't seem like all that much. But when you get to vial it in at the end of your opponent's draw step, and they were previously Hellbent...
Why do you attack into that Insectile Aberration?
That is a phenomenal question. I'm not sure.
Because it died.
Depending on what his hand is looking like, I didn't get a good look at it the last time I was flipping through. If he has the Sword of Light and Shadow and he's getting ready to drop, equip, and start swinging, that would definitely be something to consider.
So that you can get it back to hand.
Yeah,
okay.
Intentionally kill your creatures so that you can start picking up the high-value ETB effects. And it doesn't look like he has it.
He's got a Fire and Ice in there.
I believe that's what he just top-decked, and that is really nice. Obviously, protection from your opponent's entire board, nothing to sneeze at.
Mm-hmm.
If this resolves, I assume,
I think you win.
Slamming it on the
I
Baleful
don't
Strix.
think that you can beat this. Fire and Ice against a blue-red Delver?
Yeah,
I don't think that that's beatable.
No, because he's going to swing, it's unblockable, 3 points to Donovan, take down probably the Young Pyromancer right now. Okay, yeah, so we're throwing it on the Corrupt Court Official.
Because then you can take the Young Pyromancer and you don't take the 3 back. You're at 17, so you don't particularly care. But
so you drop the Young Pyromancer, you still hold the Baleful Strix to trade with Delver, so that Delver does nothing.
Uh-huh.
Oof. And to Tebin, yeah, this deck was my baby for a couple years, and it's got a lot of pretty things in it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so
a Brainstorm with no fetch is
not.
I mean, this is a desperate. Oh, okay, so we do have one. But
Well,
that's
he
definitely
did draw into it. That's lucky, but yeah, it's definitely not looking good for the Delver player right now, just because of how far he let Harpies progress his board state. All right, bolting the Baleful Strix gives him the potential, free swing here with the Delver, but he's just not going to be able to race this Sword of Fire and Ice.
No, I mean it's a potential of 5 damage per turn.
Yeah.
Plus you have the Death Red Shaman, which
it's also
is providing a clock.
Just board wiping him at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Jatron, yes, this is the Cavern Harpies deck. It's super fun. I really like it. Oh,
By the
wow.
way, Draytron, it's great to see you again.
Yep.
Again, thank you so much for making that trip to come out and hang out with us.
Yeah,
I
it
know
was-
that
it
it
was
wasn't
great to have you
specific,
here.
but it was absolutely phenomenal meeting you, and you
Mhm.
remain the farthest traveling Fortnite.
Yeah. Ooh, we got the Coiling Oracle coming down, and we've got a reader.
I mean, when's the last time that you saw someone else specifically?
It's been a few months. Blue, red, modern, elf combo.
But someone else, not your deck.
Yeah.
Okay.
Blue, red, modern, elf combo playing Coiling Oracle.
And Coleman just going to take a really swift win there. I got to say, we've seen this deck lent out a couple of times, right?
Not too often.
Not
This
too often.
Might be the second time.
But I've seen it played more often than that. Maybe it wasn't on stream.
Okay.
But I got to tell you, Coleman might be the person to pilot it, if not you.
Yeah, Coleman definitely knows what's going on in the deck.
He
more than most people I've loaned it to.
He has, well, because that's just how his mind works.
Mhm.
This is about as Coleman as it can get.
His one thing is he does like Chase Hansen's current list a bit better because he's running Muldrifter and Treant.
Okay.
Which I was running Muldrifter for a very long time.
And Coleman's
they
just got a
were-
weird love affair with that card.
Yeah, they were replaced by the Coiling Oracles recently.
Okay. What's the pizza place? To anybody who is joining us, we are actually 1 week away from the pizza meetup, which
Nice.
I'm not gonna say who, but there are actually some people that we have had previously
Oh yeah.
interacted with. Anyway, nonetheless, it's gonna be sweet. It's gonna be a place called Pizza Schmitza, 3 blocks away from the venue. It's gonna be amazing. At around 7 o'clock, there is a Facebook event. Feel free to go to it. I'm really excited, actually.
Yeah,
And
it's
I
gonna be
think-
really cool.
I think
I wish I was joining you guys for it.
I think I can just show you a quick little post that was put down.
Ooh.
Do you happen to remember this person?
Oh, a little bit, yeah.
I mean, see, they're definitely.
man. That's awesome.
Still, I'm actually. I'm pretty excited about that.
hmm Yeah, no, that's really rad. And so I didn't see how Coleman was sideboarding here, but quick note.
Also, a second name.
Okay.
I'll explain who
That's
that is
pretty-
later.
Yeah, I have an idea who that might be.
Okay.
But so one card I'd love to see Coleman bringing in from the sideboard for this matchup, especially what he saw game one, is there's an Orzhov Pontiff in the sideboard here, which, you know, while it's not as great as it is in Zombardment, where
I
you
don't
have
care.
blood artists, when your opponent's like, oh, we're going to town with this young Peasy, and you're just like, all right, Pontiff, try again.
Actually, I really like that for more than just the one reason, because, I mean, okay, so you've played this deck enough. I'm going to let you kind of answer this question, and hopefully it will confirm what I'm thinking. But
Yeah.
what's the best way to beat this deck?
To beat Blue Red Delver?
No, to beat the
Oh,
Cavern
to beat
Harpy
Cavern
special.
Harpy?
Like, what's Delver's best out to beating this deck?
Don't let them play creatures. Like,
Really? Because, okay, that's reasonable, but actually my suspicion was that it was going to have a lot more to do with the Young Pyromancer route. Because while your deck has so many creatures, it uses an Aether Vial enough that all the counter magic isn't going to be super great.
for sure.
It doesn't have an enormous amount of removal
Yeah,
in this
I mean-
version. So I feel like taking the Young Pyromancer route and just overwhelming you because your creatures are small.
Right.
I think one toughness is super prevalent because there's so much value in the
Oh,
ETB.
Yeah, I mean, almost everything in the deck is one toughness, with the exception of Deathrite Shamans and Stoneforge Mystics. But the Young Pyromancer route isn't as scary as you might think.
Okay.
Because you also are running, as I said, the 4 Stoneforge Mystics that Coleman didn't see in the game one.
Within the swords.
But yeah, you've got swords and you have a Batterskull. The Batterskull just makes token strategies so much harder for them to
nothing
actually
but
go.
2 mana. Oh, and a Batterskull.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, 2 mana dot deck and a Batterskull.
Oh my
But
goodness.
if you got Stoneforge Mystic,
Teddy
Batterskull's
Swaint?
2 mana.
Teddy Swaint, that sounds like a deck that I played against in one of my first ever Modern tournaments. Ask me about it, but we're up to 34 people, Joe.
Oh, nice!
Against the Pro Tour, I'll take
oh,
it.
for sure.
You are all amazing. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
I agree with J-Tron on this matter.
Nonetheless, so actually, let's go ahead and bring up what the card Cavern Harpy is, because when
Yeah.
you look at it, the
also,
card
the
overall.
ones in the deck are foreign, so...
No, I guess that we won't be able to tell though. But Cavern
Yeah.
Harpy, you've got a flying 2-mana 2/1 that when it comes into play, you return a blue or a black creature you control to its owner's hand.
Yep, and that's not a May ability, and very relevant, it is a non-targeted mouse.
That is interesting. Also, you have pay 1 life to return Cavern Harpy to its owner's hand. So,
Yep.
everything about that card tells me this is an enter the battlefield deck.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, at a glance, this is a bounce deck. You know, you have every card in the deck, with the exception of
Wow, that's
Deathrite
just good
Shaman,
here.
has an ETB effect.
Grim Lavamancer's really good here.
Yes, Grim Lavamancer is a very scary card for this deck to be staring down because it hits every creature in the deck.
Mm-hmm.
So that is a problem, but we are seeing this Batterskull already in Coleman's hand. And Doro, I could not agree with you more.
No kidding. Teddy Swain, I honestly can't even remember what path I was going down. But a Deathrite Shaman early on, if Donovan does have a fetch land, I'd probably take down that Deathrite.
I 100% agree. If you have an easy way to remove Deathrites before they become active, you need to.
By the way, Dread Return is actually busted in Modern.
Good Return is a very powerful card.
Dredge is already a really good deck. Do we really need Dread Return?
No. Yeah, no. And...
So
Ooh,
Swift
looks
Spear
like
coming down, no second land.
But we did have the days for the Deathrite Shaman anyways, so...
True.
But... And it looks like Donovan
okay,
does
so
have
maybe
a second
that.
land in
Okay, he
hand,
does. He
so...
does. I completely missed that because I was
Yeah,
reading
no,
Cavern Harpy again.
Yeah, I was watching the chat, reading the Cavern Harpy, and missed the Deathrite Shaman getting dazed. So this is really what Blue Red Delver needs to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
Getting the immediate Grim Lavamancer out is very relevant. Really prevents Coleman from building up a board state.
Uh-huh.
But also, getting that early daze, preventing Coleman from doing anything, and really, taking down the Deathrite Shaman. That's such a high-value card that sets Coleman back a lot in, the tempo matchup.
And I think that's also a really big point, is that this deck operates so heavily at the 2-mana slot that having this Aether Vial in the hand means that Coleman doesn't get to cast 2 spells this turn. Because I can almost guarantee you that if that Deathrite Shaman had survived, we would have seen an Aether Vial and a 2-mana spell.
For sure.
And it is significant, because right now Coleman is wasting mana. Donovan isn't.
Right.
And so now Coleman is just really set back on a turn. It's actually going to be fairly significant, I think, because now every development that he makes is just worse.
Yeah. Yeah,
A Coiling Oracle would have been incredible there. Something like that, like an Aether Vial
Yeah.
with a Coiling Oracle.
Right, because then he's got a blocker. It's preventing Donovan from attacking with Grim Lavamancer. If he does want to do something with the Grim Lavamancer, it would have prevented him from playing the Young Pyromancer. Just the presence of a Coiling Oracle on the board for Coleman would have made a big difference. And Coiling Oracle is, one of the worst cards once its ETB effect is resolved. It's a 1/1 for 2 different color mana.
Yay!
With just that in consideration, it is really bad.
You can't even get Devotion.
Yeah, so...
Otherwise, Coleman really not looking favored in this match. Or
No,
this game, sorry.
This game is getting a lot worse. Unfortunately,
I see a
Meddling
Stoneforge
Mage...
in hand.
We do see the Meddling Mage coming down. I think he's dropping that because it is probably one of the worst cards in this matchup.
Just to have a blocker out there and maybe try and
I think
bait out the
the
Grim
Resolve...
Lavamancer.
Or Donovan's considering Resolution.
Lightning bolt. Thank you.
Alright, and as expected, the Meddling Mage coming down and naming Lightning Bolt. The point of the Meddling Mage in matchups like this, if it's not a specific combo game, you're using it pretty much just to name removal. Because otherwise you're going to drop Meddling Mage, name Young Pyromancer, and then they're just going to bolt it. So if you don't lead by naming removal with Mage, it does nothing.
Quick question, Romario Vidal.
Yeah.
You are in the Legacy Mediocre League, I think. Or the Legacy, something like that. How have you been doing? I haven't been able to keep up with it, but let me know. I'd love to get an update, but I'm doing good. How about you?
Doing pretty good.
Excellent. But let me know. Also, I don't want to hint or anything, but if there's ever a modern Mediocre League.
Ooh,
Or
sign
another
up Zombardman.
or another Legacy one with an open slot where you could have someone who would basically get a lot of deck brews from Joe.
Yeah. Ooh. Chain Lightning. And yeah, that is one reason that Meddling Mage is not good in decks like this, and especially against
The blue-red specific
or
one.
Blue specific or like Burn. Meddling Mage is actually useless because
There's so much redundant cards.
because there's so much redundant cards. Like, all right, if I name one spell, he's just gonna kill it with another.
Right.
The only time it's actually really effective is if you can get it to stick and name Price of Progress and keep them off that for one turn, or if you can get them because they don't understand the interactions perfectly, and you can name their Rift Bolt and they don't kill it in response.
Mm-hmm.
That, I've gotten a couple people with that, and you get it exactly one time before they catch on.
Oh my goodness. Okay, to really quickly give my verdict on this one.
Mm-hmm.
All those mono one-ofs, I think, actually, I kind of like it. It's a lot of overlap. Make sure that you have enough for Stony Silence. The counterflux doesn't seem super duper necessary, but I don't know enough about that meta. Also, Spellskite seems underwhelming. I wouldn't bring it in against Burn, and you're not running enough creatures to really protect.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't like the Spellskite. I don't like the, Counterflux, though the Spellskite is one of your few outs to Boggles if you're suspecting that one, but then you can go for some other answers, like your more Board Wipes become a pretty solid answer there. Make sure that you can beat Affinity, and another Timely would not be bad, actually.
Yeah. So, one thing here that I don't 100% agree with what Coleman's doing is he didn't Violent Stoneforge Mystic. He knows Donovan's playing a healthy amount of counter magic.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he does have Stifle, but going for the Vial, getting it stifled, the Stoneforge is still in your hand. Leading with attempting to cast it when it is a very important creature for him to be casting right now doesn't seem that great.
But
And
what's the other 2-mana card that he's saving in his hand?
He might have an image. That is also relevant. I was only seeing the Cavern Harpy at first. I was
think-
saying with just a Harpy, that's terrible. But if he is also holding a Phantasmal image...
I don't know if he is, to be honest with you.
it's
Coleman is so...
Yeah, Coleman is very...
Now you see it?
Fast with his hand. Yeah, so there he is holding Phantasmal Image and Cavern Harpy. The
Which is
Harpy
really
right
good.
now does nothing. It comes into play and picks itself back up. But I really do like the Phantasmal Image. I'm just not sure what he would copy right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's... I mean... I think it's mostly just to copy a Stoneforge if needed.
Yeah, copying Stoneforge here is pretty nice if Donovan goes for the removal on the first one.
It's also...
Which it looks like he's going to with the Grimlock.
It's also, like, really, really slightly possible. Slightly.
Mm-hmm.
But he might have been going for the option of trying to make sure that it doesn't get stifled to put it in.
Yeah, well, I
Give
think...
up an entire turn and then get blown up by a stifle is not particularly good.
But if you do it in your main phase to vial it in and they stifle it, then you cast it. Because you know that's the counter magic they were holding. And getting your vial activation stifled doesn't hurt you.
That's true. Okay,
And
I like that.
Technically, I think Coleman might have been a little fast on putting in his Phantasmal Image here. Because you do need to activate vial, ask if it resolves, then put in the creature. Otherwise, you're just giving them free information.
Coleman, please, 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 please don't try and equip this. Don't try and equip
I think
the
he knows better, and I assume we're going to see him untap and violin this Batterskull. Which...
Violin a
Or
Batterskull?
Stoneforge in the Batterskull, excuse me. Not Vial. Cheat into play with one of the wonderful value cards. Also, one sec. Coleman, you have reminder tokens in the sideboard for what that is. Because it's on the stream, to make it convenient... Oh, yeah, you can barely see it. Stoneforge Mystic Reminder Token.
That's pretty great. That's actually pretty fantastic. So let's take a look
I
at
made
this.
a bunch of them just so that I would know what it is.
Oh my goodness. So let's, you know what? Let's do it though.
Yeah.
We have the power.
Yep.
Okay. So, we have a Stoneforge out.
Yep.
Coleman is disappointed because that is also an illusion in addition to its other types.
I don't care.
Wow, called out. Called out. So,
It also has an additional ability. I'm not writing that.
If you're going to be pedantic about it, I'm going to be pedantic right
he's just picking
I'm
fights
not
with the
being
players.
pedantic. I'm saying use your
Just
reminder
come back
token.
to the booth. Come back to booth, baby. Come back to booth.
Okay, I'm sorry. It won't happen again.
Goodness, who is that? Is that Jake from State Farm again? So, we have got Donovan with a pretty solid board, all things
Yeah.
considered. I mean, the Batterskull, while impactful, Donovan still has a huge amount of pressure just through the nature of Coleman is at 10. He's got a decent amount of pressure. Everything that he has that can actually interact with Coleman's board is going to continue increasing the pressure. Pextel, it is great to see you. I hope you are having the most glorious of days. The day of days. May today be your Charlie McDennis.
Or alternatively, may you never have a Charlie McDennis.
Oh, that got quoted. I should have seen that coming.
Yeah. But
So, goes for the lightning bolt here. Now we can activate in response. Probably.
or is this still on the same turn?
Oh,
No.
no. I think.
No, because
it came
the
in. Coleman
Grimlock
untapped. Yeah, that was instant speed.
I'm very confused why we didn't seem to activate in response.
Interesting. I'm a little bit thrown off by that, but a huge swing in Coleman likely
Well-
not going to be winning this game.
I'm confused about a lot of things going on right now because the only mana Donovan has tapped was for that lightning bolt. Coleman still had
We had the white.
Vial and mana tapped. That works. If Donovan's holding a Stifle, that's going to be phenomenal for him right now.
I see a Force of Will, but no second blue card.
Oof.
It's a Force of Will and a Monastery Swiss Bear. Haha!
Looking good.
My
So
goodness.
this might be what really makes this game for Coleman.
Oh man, that's interesting.
Yep. All right. So
The problem is that this Grim Lavamancer is enough of an issue on its own.
yes, the Grim Lavamancer certainly is giving Donovan a pretty quick clock as long as he's able to continue to cast spells, which also is giving the young Pyromancer even more pressure against Coleman's board.
Right.
I mean,
A bolt off the top wins.
A
A,
bolt
chain
off-
lightning off the top wins.
yep.
Um,
I mean, yeah, there are still things that win Donovan the game here, but
a brainstorm is close.
yeah, I mean, he has to do a ton of damage though during combat because this Batterskull having lifelink, even if it just gets Coleman the
No,
one
wait,
extra
hold
turn.
on. Oh, he's one away from it. If he can cast an instant sorcerer here, he does have the ability
Right now?
to attack in and then Grim Lavamancer whenever the Batterskull blocks. So he can actually play this out. If
That
Coleman
would
starts
be
getting
interesting.
aggressive,
Mhm.
if he can't do it yet, he has the ability to try playing out these spells, use his Grim Lavamancer to continually take down his elemental tokens.
So that the blocking isn't actually getting Coleman life.
Yes.
That would be a phenomenal line to see happen.
And it would just take Coleman blocking the wrong creature.
And at that point, I feel that does also require Donovan to swing with his young Pyromancer, though, to make a biggest swing. And having to Lavamancer his own Pyromancer is going to be really painful, because
Yeah.
then Coleman does get to swing back in very safely.
Let's see. See, the problem is that with just the Swiss Spear, as it currently sits,
He's got the Swift on the elemental tokens.
but you have another Swiss Spear in hand.
Mhm.
So that means that he's going to block the young Pyromancer. You're taking 4. All you need
Yep.
is the Grim Lavamancer, and if you have a single blue spell, anything, Brainstorm, Ponder, anything,
Yeah.
then Donovan has got the win available. This blue mana is a
Except-
good... and it's a Delver.
If it would need to be an instant, because if Donovan drops his creature, or drops the second Monastery Swift Spear, casts a sorcery, swings in, then that gives Coleman the option of blocking a Swift Spear, and now it's got too much toughness
Put the
for
Pyromancer.
Donovan.
Oh!
Because then it has too much toughness to be killed by the Lavamancer. He has to swing with the Swift Spears as one power.
You're right. No, you're
Which
absolutely
does
right.
kind of hurt Donovan, because it gives Coleman the option to block and get the guaranteed lifelink.
You're right. So,
Man, this gets. Oh, I love this because it
Interesting.
makes the combat math so awkward.
so actually, with this Delver out, I like passing the turn, blocking with an elemental token.
Mhm.
Kill it. Next turn, you untap. If the Delver flips, then you get to attack all out, actually.
Mhm.
And if you don't cast an sorcery, you have the win.
I like the Sword of Fire and Ice.
The Jit, if you want to be Cedric Phillips, otherwise the Jitte.
I mean, I like the Sword of Fire and Ice because then it can't be blocked and killed.
I think because of the vigilance, I would have probably gone for it. Because
I mean-
then you end up actually dealing the guaranteed 6.
Mhm.
That's huge because it can't
Yeah.
be blocked, and I think Coleman might be forgetting that factor.
Yeah.
I think going for the Jitte is showing that Coleman may not realize this Grim Lavamancer interaction.
Mhm. Right, because the Grim Lavamancer interaction is actually something. It's very similar to Coleman's, like one of Coleman's best interactions in the deck, which is
Gideon, it's
blocking.
great to see you. Tim, I'm glad you're having a good day. Cheers.
Cheers. But no, like, alright, so Donovan taking an alternative route here, going for the block with young Pyromancer and Lavamancering the Germ token, which is assign lethal damage to it. However, it does give Coleman the lifelink.
I don't think
and,
either player realized the interaction.
Yeah. That it is, this deck does generate a lot of really awkward combat interactions. One of the best is that Cavern Harpy says if your opponent's creature doesn't have protection from blue and or black, you can never get GT tokens, or GT counters.
Yeah.
Because you block and bounce, and that's what Donovan wanted to be doing slightly less effectively with his Grim Lavamancer.
Yeah. The Centipede Man, as a quick note, thank you so much. That is high praise, to be honest. Tragic Weather, thank you so much. I know that's a big match, but I gotta tell you, Donovan versus Coleman is probably the face down of the century.
Yeah. We're also nearly 50 people watching right now.
We're at almost 50 going up against a Pro Tour.
Oh, that's amazing.
Is it because of the pirate hat in the title?
I hope it is.
Oh, man. I think...
Swords,
2?
There's 2 swords, the GTA and the Batterer Skull in the main board. Sword of Fire and Ice and Light and Shadow. Out of the sideboard is the Sword of Feast and Famine. Not something I would have brought in this matchup. It's for the niche cases where you need the protection colors to really get through Goyfs, or against control or combo where you want the discard.
Back down, Dylan. Oh, man. So, Donovan looking at the cards off of a Ponder. There's a Chain Lightning there.
This match is overall really
I think
looks
Coleman
like it's
won
going...
because Donovan messed up. I honestly think that's the case.
It's a really awkward case, though, and I do not hold that against Donovan whatsoever. That was really awkward combat for 2 turns, and is what it is.
Right. But yeah, that's definitely where I think that this is going. Just where is this being played?
This
hey,
is in Snohomish, Washington.
Absolutely. I guess we should introduce ourselves.
Yeah.
Hello, my name's TJ.
My name's Joe.
We're streaming from Geek Fortress. It's a shop in Snohomish, Washington. We do this 4 times a week. We've got Standard every Monday, Modern every Wednesday and Saturday, and Legacy every Friday. It's worth checking out and hitting that follow button. I highly recommend it because every single one of you... Hey, the Sensitive Man, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I can tell you this. I can almost guarantee this. I don't think that there are any other streams that will so actively make sure that you all know that you're appreciated.
Yeah.
So it's important to us for you all to realize that you are the reason why we exist, and thank you so much for being a part of it.
Yeah. No, it's...
Yes,
so great.
to Lash Curve.
Yeah, 2 Stone Signs.
I recommend not losing to Affinity. It's pretty good.
Yeah. Can also recommend. However, it's pretty frustrating when they, in response, drop Blood Moon, and then on the next turn, use their previously colorless mana to triple Gav Blast you.
Thierry Winger. I'm honest. Please provide a pronunciation guide. Let us know where you're watching from, how you found us, and what do you like to play. Let us know. It's awesome having you, and a pronunciation guide would be great, because that one threw me off.
And glad you like Paper Legacy. I love it too.
They said it's hard to.
They said it's hard to find, but...
Oh, hard to find. I'm sorry. I saw hard to watch. Said, okay, it's good to see ya.
Yeah.
But yeah, we do this every single Friday at 7:30.
Coleman is actually playing one of my decks right now, and it's phenomenal.
So the Chain Lightning going for this Deathrite Shaman.
I think that's perfectly reasonable, taking it down when available.
Right. There's still this Coiling Oracle, though, which is, I guess... Coleman is signaling that he's got another creature in hand. These are probably some significantly large...
Yeah, I mean, they are
so
a healthy
pass
size.
back. Coleman with no creatures. That might have been Coleman messing up.
It looks like he might have needed to block. I'm not sure exactly how strong those,
Ryan, it's good to see ya.
So if he just took...
Alright.
I
Spellscape,
believe Coleman
it's
just
not...
took 6 off of this swing on him. So that means that was a...
The Monastery Sisters.
4 power, so he did have to
There was
block.
lots of prowess, yeah. There was lots of prowess.
So he needed the block there, not necessarily... Oof. And Donovan taking it down by, just not giving Coleman enough creatures.
Yeah. And, I actually didn't expect Donovan to take that one. He deserved that game, to be honest with you.
He did, but it really looked like Coleman had it for just a minute there. That's, one reason I do like the sword is he is, almost guaranteed to keep his,
Keranos is incredible against it, by the way.
Keranos?
They're asking what's good against Jund in a Jeskai deck. Keranos and Elsbeth are both houses.
Keranos is a super rad card. I love it. I like when
if you resolve a Keranos, it is unlikely that you will lose.
Chase Hansen was playing one in Legacy Reanimator for a while.
Of course.
For the ever fun interaction of reanimate Keranos through a Containment Priest. Because it is a creature to target, but enters as an enchantment.
So this is actually Joe's deck, and Joe and Chase originally came up with the concept for the Cavern Harpy deck.
And then I was the one actually working on the list for the last 2 years.
Joe championed it, and now Coleman is actually borrowing the deck from Joe here. Both he and Coleman both tend to have a very similar mindset. It's actually pretty interesting to watch, because anytime that I'm interacting with them, Joe and Coleman are like the legacy and modern counterparts of each other, as far as their mentality and their like mind of how this game works.
Yeah.
And so it's always really cool seeing them, and it means that when they're able to do like any deck sharing between the two of them, it leads to some pretty cool results. Coleman is playing this deck pretty well.
Yeah.
A little bit of a falter in that second game. I think he played less than ideally.
Yeah, I mean, one of the biggest things was his choice of second equipment to put on the Batter Skull. But, you know, it was already not the best position for him that game anyways. And this list, I do not believe is currently on Tapped Out. I can get it up this weekend.
Yep.
Oof,
Alright.
I hope they spike.
Turn one.
Then my foil Japanese ones are going to be worth
Bank.
Nice.
I don't like Spell Skite against Jund, by the way.
No.
They're going to kill it, and then it's going to make their Tarmogoyf even bigger.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're wondering what is the Cavern Harpy deck, think of Alurin, and then pretend like Alurin has been completely replaced by Aether Vial.
Yeah. So you take out the combo win from Alurin and play Stoneforge Mystic, and you take out the Allurins and play Vials. Is kind of the core idea of the deck. You're just high value ETB effects, looping them with Cavern Harpy, and going for a synergy instead of a combo, which I feel makes the deck a bit more resilient to hate.
Okay, so I'm going to put this down. Put me in a supply closet, and I'll find the drill. So, Baleful Strix coming down. It's going to contend really nicely against this. Donovan does have Dazes in hand. Also had some number of Forcible, but looks to be saving those ones. So, bad Deathblade. Kind of. Except
It's
way
different.
cooler. Way cooler.
Yeah.
I think actually the Aether Vials end up giving it a little bit of a different flair, and the ability
For
of
sure.
the deck to manipulate combat significantly more.
Yeah, because it's not just playing like, oh, drop your Stoneforge Mystic and gear up a creature, which assembling Voltron onto a Baleful Strix is pretty satisfying, but it really gives you a lot more combat interaction.
So a Ponder from Donovan, going for the shuffle. I like that he is... Actually, does he not have a second land in hand? I'm remembering now that when I'm looking at it, I saw a lot of counter magic. Dropped to 9 people. I'm not sure what we're talking about dropping to 9 people. I still show
I think you
that.
mean up to 55.
Yeah, 13th Fox, it's great to see you. How do we get the border with life totals, names, etc.? Okay, so this is in 2 parts. One, we used OBS as the main thing, but what we actually, I don't want to say used, but the person who we have to give our thanks to and we have to show our appreciation to is someone named David Bradbury. He plays here a lot. He is an occasional co-host. Phenomenal tech person. He put together the entire layout. We're actually working on version 4.0.
Oh, really?
So it's going to be coming out soon.
Okay.
But all things considered, it's going to be... Yeah, David has done just an absolutely incredible bit of work for this. And usually with very little time and resources.
Yeah.
So, actually, sorry, let's clarify. This stream does everything on no resources.
Yeah. This is
So-
all donated hardware, volunteered time. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, pretty much. So, we have got the Baleful Strix coming down. We do still have the Wasteland. How do you feel about the Wasteland right now? Do you think that it's kind of lost its relevancy? I mean, you can cut them off of...
You can choose to cut Coleman off of a couple colors here. You can either take away his access, nice, to green or white. However, Donovan being so low on mana himself...
No, don't you ignore that.
What? The foil Dark Blast?
The Dark Blast out of this deck, which is doing absolutely sweet.
The Dark Blast is mostly for the D&T matchup because they can't beat it.
That's awesome!
Oh, I'm a huge fan, yeah.
Oh my goodness. So, a Brainstorm, we do draw into an Ancient Grudge, actually. And that Ancient Grudge doesn't look too bad against both of these right
Yeah,
now.
Ancient Grudge against Devil Strix, certainly not bad, but they have also already done their main job of refilling Coleman's hand.
As far as Tim, honestly, I don't want to make any promises for him. He is of all the people who, like, when they say that, he's probably as busy as me, if not more.
Okay. Wow.
David is, he's another one of those busy bees.
Yeah. Yeah, and people saying Dark Blast can take down everything in Delver, it can get a little tricky on, like, a flipped Delver or with the, Monastery Swift Spear.
Mm-hmm.
You're not really going for those with the Dark Blast, although in a pinch, you do get the option of upkeep Dark Blast a flipped Delver, draw, replace with a Dredge, Dark Blast it a second time, which is super fun to do.
It's one of my favorite interactions.
It's my favorite way to take down, what are they,
2/2s?
No, specifically Deathrite Shaman.
That's true.
Yeah.
Tragic Weather, 1, thank you.
Mhm.
And 2, we appreciate you. And we
Yeah.
appreciate the time that you give to us in your, interaction and the ability for you to help actually develop this into what has felt to me to be an actual community more than just a viewership.
Mm-hmm.
So, thank you to all of you for being such an incredible part of this.
Yeah.
Boom. Nailed it.
Oh, Coleman unfortunately getting his Baleful Strix dazed. Fortunately, however, it's when he has 4 lands and Donovan had to pick up one of his only 2. And it was the 3rd Baleful Strix. This is looking pretty nice from Coleman's side of the board.
And yes,
That is it. Oh,
that is a Corrupted Court Official.
yep.
1/1 for 2 mana. When it comes into play, target opponent chooses, or is it each opponent because it says 0, but was it errata to target?
I believe it is, it's a phenomenal question.
Let's
I'm
take
not
a
sure
quick
if the Oracle
look.
is on it now.
Target. It is
Okay.
target.
It does target then.
Okay. Bedlam Reveler is still kind of sweet, but it's definitely not been putting up phenomenal results.
It has been,
Testing needs to be done.
yeah, it hasn't been putting up numbers, but I think it's a sweet card nonetheless.
Was that intentional?
Yes. if I say up numbers on the stream, you know it's intentional.
Oh my
Oof,
goodness.
Donovan protecting his young PZ with a force on the Dark Blast. That cannot feel good. Oof. Especially
mean,
since that elemental can't even safely swing on this board right now.
Like, it's just particularly bad because it's just going to come back. So Donovan essentially just 2 for 0'd himself.
Effectively just hemmed himself.
Yeah. Which is really not good, and that seems super unideal. Coleman has... I don't want to get, like, too presumptuous here, but Coleman is not...
Oh, there's the Pontiff.
Coleman's not really in a position to lose this game.
No, he is not.
Donovan's trapped on 2 lands, one of them being a wasteland, so he can't develop 2 fully. He can't play
Right.
multiple spells per turn. His wasteland is functionally invalidated. He's got flying pressure over top some pretty... I mean, Cole's got flying pressure over some underwhelming blockers.
Yeah.
A Stoneforge Mystic is already presenting just a massive threat in this Jitte, which is going to combine with the
Yeah.
Dark Blast. Ridiculous.
So we're just
Absolutely
gonna-
ridiculous.
Gearing up, it looks like the Corrupt Court Official, because then if it gets blocked, it still gets its counters. What do we have flashing?
The
Okay,
Ancient
going for the
Grudge.
Ancient Grudge. That's fair enough.
I'll be curious to see, does he have like a single tropical island in this deck?
Who?
Donovan.
Donovan?
If he's running Ancient Grudge, he's got to be running a trop.
That is a phenomenal question. I'm not sure.
He has to be. There's no
Um,
way that you would run that card if you didn't have green mana. There's no
Yeah.
Death Threat Shaman in this deck. There has to be one.
It's possible, yeah. I'm not sure.
I am going to
Well,
guarantee.
okay, it looks like we're looking at a Wear and Tear, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't also have white mana. I think he might just be playing it for the first activation.
I don't think so. I don't think that's a wear and tear. That might be a...
Oh, is that something else?
Is that a boom bust? I hope that's not a boom bust.
That's pretty funny if it is.
However,
I'm not
that's totally
oh,
a
it is
boom bust.
I'm not a huge fan of swinging with the Young Pyromancer here, though.
What if you were to boom bust, targeting your own wasteland, activating your wasteland in response?
Seems good.
That seems so good. So we're gonna boom bust.
Take down a big chunk of the board.
Or is that dead and gone? Oh, that might be dead and
I have
gone.
no idea.
Okay, hold on. Let's see what we can find out here.
And Romero Vidal...
That's a dead and gone.
Okay, he didn't go for the Dark Blast on the Young Pyromancer because if he was able to get the GT resolved, the swing either connects...
2 damage to target creature is what we just saw. Alright.
The reason he didn't go for the Dark Blast is because if Donovan wasn't holding the Ancient Grudge, the GT swing either would have been blocked, taking down a creature and getting the GT counters, then killing the Young Pyromancer, or would have gone unblocked and then take all of the counters off the GT, again, completely board wiping Donovan.
Okay.
And Donovan going for the...
Oh, was that Rough and Tumble? That was Rough and Tumble!
Oh, jeez.
Why did they make so many of these things?
They look all very similar.
You know what? I'm sorry.
Oh, okay, so it was 2 damage to each creature without flying?
And that's why we attacked him with the Young
And
Pyromancer.
that's why the Baleful Strix was left alive.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Whew.
Ooh, Coleman finally getting his vial up, but Donovan just so short on mana this game. I don't see him taking it down. I mean, you know, he does have a lot of cards that are very effective against what Coleman's trying to do.
We do get the fetch land, though.
The life totals being what they are, and Coleman's board state being as advanced as it is,
Meddling Mage is
very
on.
true.
Thank you.
That was an interesting choice for Coleman. Naming Young Pyromancer with Meddling Mage, I'm not sure if I would have gone for that. It could be correct because, you know, it does force him to waste a burn spell on the Meddling Mage, but I do prefer naming removal first just to protect your board.
Connor OD, it's good to see you. I was watching your stream earlier today.
Oh,
Yeah.
very nice.
For a brief moment. I was on a break at work, actually, and I was like, hey, I know that person. Except my internet there was kind of funky, so I wasn't actually able to watch as much as I would have liked.
Gotcha.
It was like sometimes watching.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, it was good to see you.
And that is why we named Bolt with Meddling Mage, because it's getting bolted anyways.
Always name removal with Meddling Mage unless you're going to lose.
Yep, unless you're playing against combo, or you absolutely need to, you know. You go for the removal.
My bad. There's so many buttons to push.
Can confirm, a lot of buttons.
How many
and,
people...
Coleman as well.
Peter, you were asking about it earlier today, and I'm surprised to see you not playing.
Yeah, I believe we are 10 to 12 people. I can grab exact numbers the next time I step out. But, you know, a healthy 4-round event.
Hoon, it's great to see. People asked me about the tricorn hat on the last stream, and so I thought to myself, I'm going to wear it.
Nice.
So, a Delver coming down. Again, I mean, this Dark Blast is still
incredibly
a factor.
relevant. Yep.
Yeah.
Not sure why Coleman's fetching here. Unless he's... Yeah, it's an interesting decision because he has the mana he needs to Dark Blast. Even getting dazed, he can then fetch in response. It could just be a force of habit from playing Modern, going for the EOT fetch, or if he's bluffing, holding up Brainstorm mana off of the Underground Sea. There's no actual reason in the deck, though, that you need to fetch at that moment.
I'm going to sport a puffy shirt.
There you go.
Alright. Hello, everybody. It's good to see you. Do I look puffy right now?
Just
Excellent.
puffy enough.
Alright, Meddling Mage coming down.
True name Nemesis.
Is he spinning a wheel?
Oh my god. Oh, I like that. Drop the Meddling Mage, name True Name, and then comes the Young Peasy. And getting double wasted, hitting the Trop, keeps Coleman off green, and Underground Sea seems fine.
Oh my
And I assume we're going to see the Dredge right here?
Yeah.
Yep.
So...
Because at this point, Coleman is presenting lethal. I believe Donovan is Hellbent. So now all we have to do is Dark Blast and swing in.
I do need that puffy shirt from Seinfeld.
For sure.
Thank you,
All right,
13th
yep.
Fox.
Oof.
Yeah, I mean, Coleman just had that game in the bag
Mhm.
after some pretty questionable plays from Coleman, and I think, honestly, his biggest misplay in that one was the names that he went for with these metal
Yeah.
mages.
I mean, believe me, it is very tempting to name your opponent's creatures, but naming the removal spells is generally the way you want to go. And he did ask me if I had any play advice before the round, and I guess that's something I should have emphasized.
Particularly. Hey, everybody, stick around. Joe's going to go. Actually,
Yep.
round 2 is about to begin. Let's head on up. Their timing
Yep.
was perfect. We'll see you up there. Hello and thank you for joining. My name's TJ. You are all the, actually I guess we are all the Fortnites, and thank you so much. Being at 67 people against the Pro Tour right now is legitimately incredible, and I appreciate all of you joining. Let me know how you're doing tonight. It's awesome having you. Yeah, man, it is so much fun. If you are brand new to the stream, feel free to toss it into the chat and say hello. If you just joined us last Sunday, feel free to toss that in. Mostly if you are if you have something to say, always feel free to toss it in. We like interacting with all of you here. But yes, it was a very weird deck. It was all kinds of fun. Joe is going to try and find us both some pretty sweet matchups. Joe, tired of sticking to your Dominator deck? I'll have to let him know. We're doing some Legacy. But if you haven't yet, always feel free to hit that follow button. Yes, there is Eldrazi in the room tonight. Be sure to hit that follow button because we stream 4 times a week. Every Monday at 6:30 Pacific time, you can join us for Standard. Every Wednesday and Saturday, we stream Modern. Wednesdays at 7 o'clock, Saturdays at 6. Also, every single Friday, just like this one, you can join us for some sweet, sweet Legacy at 7:30. Also, remember that next weekend is GP Portland. We're going to try and find some people to cover the stream for us because many of us are going to be out in the land yonder in Portland having a blast doing, if you'll be there, we hope to see you there, the pizza meetup on Friday night. Next Friday, 1 week from now, around 7 o'clock at a place called Pizza Schmitza, 3 blocks away from the venue. So calm, we have actually got Legacy tonight, but Modern is all kinds of fun. Be sure to join also on Wednesday. It's gonna be sweet. Man, I'm so excited. What's tomorrow? Tomorrow is gonna be Modern. We're gonna be going up against the Pro Tour even more. What time is the meetup? I'm not sure what you're asking, but the meetup tomorrow is, or the meetup next Friday is at 7. It's going to be sweet. Okay, make Dylan do the commentary. He could handle it. Yeah, but he can't handle running the store and doing the commentary. So we'll see. I think I might be able to get potentially Steven to do some coverage for it, and overall we'll just see what we can do, all things considered. The interesting thing is going to be also how many people are here for the bigger formats, but we're going to make it work. We're going to keep doing what we do, and that's what we do. Okay. Hey, So Calm, thank you so much for joining us. I know that we've got some huge competition. Captain, as always, it's great seeing you. Thanks so much for joining us. We've got some massive competition in the Twitch page today, and I understand that. And so being right now at near 70 is just awesome. Sith Jedi, get Todd Stevens to Skype in and do commentary. Next weekend he will, I believe, be, I think he's got something going on. He does, but we are actually, I did stream yesterday with Todd Stevens for a little bit. If you were there, let me know how I did. I've never done that before, and I'm going to have to kind of work on that, because we are planning on doing that in the future. I Skyped into the Todd Stevens chat. We're looking at doing that more in the future, and potentially having him try doing some of that here as well in the future. So it should be pretty cool, all things considered. But other things that we've got going on are always sweet, and I am particularly excited for Portland. We're doing some testing tomorrow. Otherwise, actually, the Pro Tour has just been having some pretty cool things going on. I mean, you know, for Standard, which at least it's not what we expected. There's actually some little bit of things happening. I'm knocking things over. So, round 2 about to begin. That timer is inaccurate. I'm going to reset that one to the top. Let's get that going. Is there a link to my crossover work? No, I mean, hold on. Let's see here. Not really, but I'm just going to add that one there. And if you follow that, you should be able to see the VOD of it. But it was a lot of fun. And then we ended up having some technical issues with the internet, so we had to call it quits unexpectedly. But we're going to try doing it again on a time that has lower internet traffic for his area, because his internet wasn't able to handle both the input and the output at the same time. But nonetheless, it was a lot of fun. How has the Pro Tour affected our super secret deck choice that nobody knows about for the GP? It's actually looking better, interestingly enough. Z, Showstopper, it's good to see you. I saw you yesterday. It's great to have you again. Interestingly enough, it is not Comcast. What do I expect to see played most commonly at Portland? Most likely either Bank Company or the Emerge deck that Owen is playing.
So, round 2 has begun, but it'll be just another minute before our match gets going on stream. We're going to have Dylan jump against the wall.
He insisted, didn't he?
No, I insisted.
Because he was needy. Cool. Okay.
Playing against Logan Rifle.
That's why you went for it. That's
I like putting Logan on stream. He has fun decks.
okay. Logan has got sweet decks, but also tell me that you went for this because of how hilarious this matchup is.
A little bit.
So we've got Tezzerator versus Reanimator.
Yep.
The Tezzerator is in fact a Helm Tezzerator, which means that it is running mainboard Leyline of the Void.
Yes. So, that's not necessarily, going to get the match for him, but it does help.
It makes it a pretty unique matchup
Yeah.
overall, especially so does the inclusion of the Chalice of the Void in the deck.
Mm-hmm.
So
And unfortunately, Dylan's not sitting down yet, so
That's
we have
okay.
another minute to talk before they get going.
all right, so let's talk about it just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
We have got interesting. We just learned that Tebet accepted it purely. That's actually pretty brilliant.
I like it.
Oh,
It's a good reason to
my
accept.
goodness. Peter, I actually don't know who that is. I don't think that we've had a.
Teddy Swaint?
Yeah, there's someone who plays here, but I honestly don't know who. So, break it down. Tell me a little bit about what we can expect from this Tezzerator deck.
So, Tezzerator, as the name suggests, is playing Tezzeret Agent of Bolas. It's got a Thopter Sword combo and the Helm Leyline combo. The reason it's going for the Leyline as opposed to Rest in Peace is A, it's just a blue-black deck. It would be an additional color. And B, playing the Sword combo, you're taking advantage of your own graveyard, so you only want to be able to hit your opponents, but still be able to get the Helm combo going.
But otherwise, the base level deck isn't just a blue-black artifact control.
Yeah, blue-black artifact control is kind of what you're going for. It's got a lot of the soul lands for a faster game. Looks like Dylan still hasn't quite made it back to the table yet, doing his shop ownerly duties.
Ugh.
Said he was on his way.
Right. My goodness.
But again, this also should not be a incredibly long, grindy, slow matchup. And alright, looks like Dylan just making his way out of his seat, so
It's time for round 2.
Yep.
Alright, so Dylan on the right now. Both of these players fairly accomplished with their decks. Logan been playing this deck for some time.
Quite a while. He did take a break for a time to play Colorless Eldrazi, but he absolutely loves Tezzerator and, didn't stay away from it for too long.
Also, Logan recently not able to play a whole lot lately.
Yep.
Recently had some pretty big changes in his life.
And recently he's been using the same excuse every week. He had a kid or something a month ago.
Ugh.
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 No, it was actually pretty amusing. We were
Congratulations,
Yeah,
Logan.
it was fantastic. I'm really happy for you. But we were sitting down at the store to play Legacy, and he gets a phone call. Says, "All right, I have about 5 minutes to finish up this trade. My wife just went into labor, and I need to get going." And it's like, well, if you need to leave, we can trade later. He's like, no. I live like 2 minutes from here. I told her I'd be home in 10 minutes. We can finish up this trade, and then I'll be on my way. It's like, come on, dude. It was pretty fantastic.
That is a
but-
man who knows what magic means to him.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we have got Dylan on Reanimator.
Mhm.
Did, he's been playing this deck for a little bit. Basically got into it just before and ended up day 2ing GPC
Yeah.
tech. Batusai, it's good to see you. I'm
Hey.
doing well.
Yep.
I gotta tell you, I am, cheers. But I think the biggest thing, I don't even know what I was talking. Oh yeah, I'm doing really well because this week has been something else.
Mm-hmm.
So in the continuing chronicles of I promised, and this is still a promise, at the next bit of free time that I have, I will apply for a Twitch partnership. I said that 2 weeks ago. I have not actually had that bit of free time
Wow.
at all.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh man.
I am looking forward to the opportunity to apply for that Twitch partnership. It's going to be pretty awesome. I'm actually really excited about this Helm Raider. So a Tezzeret
Yeah.
Helm Raider. Maybe we should call it Tezzeret Helm Raider. That might help out a bit.
Or just Tezzerator.
Man,
Is a common name for it.
what?
Just Tezzerator. And you
But
just,
normal Tesserator doesn't run the helm, and I think that's an important, the helm combo, that's an important distinction to make in this matchup especially.
fair enough.
At least in my mind.
Speaking of, Logan taking the Mole to 6 in the Game 1 win.
Dylan should have built this table better, because he's looking rickety wrecked.
Yeah, Leyline of the Void, a very good card in this matchup.
Oh, man!
Wow.
Well.
Bad beats. I mean, I would not scoop right now if I was Dylan. He does still have the option of Logan kept his hand exclusively for the Leyline, and Dylan has the option to win off of, casting a small creature like a
He's not running he's not running.
Oh, is he not running
Hapless.
Chase's list?
He's not running
Oh.
Hapless Researcher. He's running Ponders instead.
All right, so this is a much harder matchup for Dylan. Still not actually impossible, but it is an uphill battle.
This is so great. How can Logan lose?
Oh man. I mean, games 2 and 3 definitely are still favored for Logan, but it's not going to be as aggressive and as oppressive. I believe Dylan is running some number of...
There is a Tezzeret and a Jace in his hand as well.
Wow.
That he's gonna drop this turn.
Yeah, and I don't know, is Dylan running Grave Titan? I don't believe he is.
Actually, he has previously.
Okay,
He was running it last I saw.
gotcha.
I believe that there is a Grave Titan in there.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. A Brainstorm in response to this, and no Force of Will. We're looking at a bunch of lands,
And
some
Reanimate.
Reanimator. Oh, this is so...
Yeah, this is not looking good for Dylan right now. And there are no rituals in a traditional blue-black style Reanimator.
Not at all.
Those would only be in like a Tin Fins or some like burning Reanimator. And yeah, no show and tell out of the sideboard, I don't believe.
I don't think he has shown and tell on the board either.
No.
That is...
Yeah, I mean, this is not looking good. Wow. Absolute blowout. Game 1, opening hand, no mulligan, helm.
Oh, this is sweet. I like this. Hold on, I'm gonna get a little chin strap going on here.
The Grave Titan has a touch to do with the graveyard in that it has Death Touch and will send all of its blockers to the graveyard. But, yeah, this is, one of the roughest matches for Dylan when Logan has this level of turn 1.
Good luck, Lash Curve. Trying to establish a beard here.
Best of luck, Lash Curve. Keep us updated.
Okay. How's this? No, man, this is just evolving. This is just evolving.
Just like Logan and Dylan's game.
I mean,
Logan finding the sword off of his
but also
Tezzeret's
has
plus.
the Jace, and that second card, is that the Staff of Nin? I don't
Could
think
be.
that is.
I'm not 100% sure what we're looking at there, but Logan definitely looking at a pretty solid hand right now.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Double Signet, a City of Traders going into another City of Traders, that seems okay. I am a little bit surprised by Logan's choice not to go for making the 5/5 and just start dropping down the beats.
I think he, like myself, he's much more of a fan of the option to
Minus and go for the
to go
ult
for the ult,
Uh-huh.
especially because that's something this deck is designed to do very efficiently.
Mm-hmm. Still, I think that the 5/5 would probably be the more there's nothing
more
that you're
efficient
worried
way.
about right now.
Right.
It's going to allow you to attack on 2 different routes because that plus option is still very available. And Dylan
Right.
has so few actual options to interact with that.
He's got the misdirection though.
That's true. You could misdirect his attacker.
Yeah.
Here's a mat. It's like
It's
Bugs
not
Bunny
doing
putting
it.
the sign that way.
Yeah. Oof.
Oh, man. But overall, we're just going to keep plussing, digging for more of these options. But between this Jace, actually, I would have liked to see Jace 0 before going for the Tezzeret, if that's what you're planning on doing.
Mhm.
I think having that Brainstorm and potentially being able to set up giving yourself a draw might be better.
Yeah.
But then again, you are locking, and it does mean that you can not lock yourself because you set it up. You can put some back with the intent of those 2 now get put to the bottom.
Yeah.
I like that way more. That is, yeah, I definitely like that.
And yeah, I'm gonna let him know that Dylan should be at 19.
Yeah, that's gonna be pretty relevant.
Yeah. Dylan, I believe you're at 19 from your fetch.
A spectator just started laughing.
Can you guess who?
Coleman.
Yeah.
The Colemaniac.
I pop my head out. Dylan gives me the most dejected and frustrated look because I put this match on camera.
Oh man, you know what? Dylan's putting up a fight. We can give him that.
He is.
Another chalice. Do you just drop the chalice on two?
Well, it hurts you at that point.
Oh.
I think, honestly, I would like to see the sword come down first, so that if it gets countered, it'll come back in, auto-equipped to the Batter Skull. Or the Baleful Strix.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, excuse me. Because the 1/1 came into play, and that, people usually associate it just with the Thopter tokens off the Thopter Foundry, but casting your Baleful Strix can also get you back the sword.
Mm-hmm. Nah, Dylan doesn't hate him. Well, I mean,
Dylan doesn't...
not for this.
Dylan doesn't cry in his store, but it was there in his soul.
There are rumors that the drive home is just long enough for a good, I don't know, what's a good, like, crying CD? There's rumors that you can listen...
Swift's 1983.
Wow, actually, I was gonna go for Bowling for Soup.
Ooh, I do like me some Bowling for Soup. Albums are a little tricky to find, though, these days.
Oh, seriously. Both bowling alleys closing down a lot, and Soup less popular than it used to be.
Yep. Toro. Can Dylan win at this point? No.
I don't think so. So
He's playing it out like a man, though.
to Aphelion 503, honestly, so let's look at what some of the potential outs are. Because right now you're looking at things like hard casting a Grave Titan next turn is an option.
Is
the
an
only
option.
problem,
It still doesn't develop a lot of board state right now.
it doesn't do almost anything because first of all, there's a Baleful Strix out.
Yep.
That's going to block it just fine. You've also got a Tezzeret ult available.
Yep.
You've also got a Jace unsummon available if you just feel like going for that. I
mean, Logan's also holding the transmute, so you can transmute the sword for Thopter, sack a Signet, and start building up his Thopter Foundry.
Oh, HC Fox, you nailed it. I had no idea that was the flavor text on Blinking Spirit. That's pretty funny. Yes, because now Dylan's Spirit is blinking. Notice how the Leyline of the Void has been the card that we've tutored up here, because it is essentially the only card that has been truly relevant this entire match.
Yeah.
We're going to float some black mana by the look or one of each by the look of it.
Not 100%. It looks like you're just going for double blue, and I'm guessing we're casting the, transmute artifacts.
What are we grabbing?
We're grabbing the Thopter Foundry.
Yeah.
Dylan's going to give it a quick read, which is not going to be all that fast, because there's just a
That's a sorcerer,
lot of
right?
text. Yes.
So next turn, Logan gets to flood the board with Thopters, then minus Tezzeret.
This turn he gets to start.
This turn, well, yes.
Because
but
now
he's
he's
probably not
going
going to ult it until next turn and just go for the win that way.
Also an option by floating the extra mana.
Oh, yeah. I guess you could just win too.
Yeah, I suppose I'm not used to seeing the having the mana up to go for the helm at the time, but yeah, that is another option.
For the next 2 minutes, I want more song lyric references. Give me something that really fits this matchup. Jatron, there is almost nothing. I think Dylan was just going for it to go for
I'm
it.
not 100% sure what his list looks like, but hardcasting Kyranos is technically an out.
That's true. We did bring
This is a
in...
pretty good out.
He did bring in the permanent
Well,
unsummon.
Is about to bring in
True.
the Echoing Truth.
Yes. that
Yeah.
one.
Echoing Truth is definitely going to be good here, because once the Leyline of the Void gets back into Logan's hand, it's not necessarily going to be getting cast all that quickly. He has access to a lot of fast, colorless mana, but he also is going to have to be paying a lot of life for it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Hello, Darkness, my old friend.
Yeah.
To
This-
Leyline, love it.
this is not, the easiest matchup for Dylan, especially when Logan has a game one like that. But out of the board, Dylan definitely does have some answers for what's going on. Definitely taking out that misdirection, for one.
Now, my only caution is, like, if Dylan overboards for a single card, I mean, there are other things that Logan has got going on.
Mhm.
And if he ends up going too much into this avenue of trying to prevent just getting blown up by the turn one Leyline,
I think one of the most important things is that Dylan brings in the Echoing Truth, because not only does it answer the ley line, but it's an answer to a lot of Logan's plans. If you can return
Chalice on one.
Yeah, you pick up the chalices, pick up the ley line.
Uh-huh.
It's not an actual permanent response, but it does set Logan back, and Dylan playing Reanimator that effectively functions as a combo deck. If you can set Logan back by 1 turn, that could just be the 1 turn Dylan needs.
Mm-hmm.
EOT, bounce your ley line, move to his turn, Entomb, Reanimate, and Dylan could have just locked up the game on that alone. So,
I like that.
Echoing Truth, I think, is really going to be the star here in this match.
This is how I feel. I'm cold in the shade. Oh, poor Dylan.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Doro, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Man, I am actually, I have set a new rule for myself to never do more than like 10 seconds of accents.
Yeah.
On Wednesday, I did like 10 minutes of it with like
Oh,
varying accents. I did some Sean Connery, some Irish Brogue. I did
Yeah.
some Macho Man. I did some
I'm not a big
announcer
fan of
voice.
Macho Man. I prefer Randy Savage.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
actually
that's-
heard someone say that. It's like,
Huh.
do you now? Or it was one of the two where they're like, I'm not really a Macho Man person, but Randy Savage is great. And it's like, are you being serious?
Huh.
You're trolling me.
He only liked Randy Savage when he was on the what was the team that he had with Ultimate Warrior?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh my goodness! Sorry, I know weird about it,
I
like,
just
the-
know
the
that
Macho
he's
Man.
absolutely ridiculous. And
So-
he is the cream of the crop.
Nobody does it better. Bonesaw is ready. I saw someone doing a stream in which they called it. It was like something. It was something like Savage, and then said Bonesaw is ready in the comments. And you know what they weren't running in their deck at all?
Bonesaw?
Not Bonesaw. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So, Warrior! Ah, man, Teddy Swain knows what's up.
Yeah.
Alright, so Logan on a mulligan. Looking pretty aggressive at the moment. Possibly just going to be looking for the ley line. Could be a little bit extra aggressive. Beta Sean! Good to see you.
Hey.
I'm not entirely sure why it's a flavor win, except for the fact that I suppose we're on Innistrad.
Yeah.
Just
sure.
there we go. Let's get a little bit more Innistrad with this.
There we go.
Yes.
Yeah. Alright, so Logan looks like he's considering this. No ley line in hand, but he's got that ensnaring bridge. Certainly not the worst thing to be keeping against Reanimator.
Especially, it's actually relevant to where Logan may not be aware of if Dylan has the show and tell sideboard
For sure.
package. And that ensnaring bridge is actually particularly relevant against that as well, because it gives you a
Yes.
huge avenue for dropping it
Very.
into play.
Also, I think one thing I'm enjoying enormously right now is that the one of the tails on your hat is stuck to the green screen. That looks particularly odd in our little viewing window, where it's kind of being tugged by nothing out behind you.
Bleep, 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 bleep. One of the zombies is messing with me.
Yeah.
Alright, so we are going for a fetch from Dylan. Both players down to 18. A Force of Will taking down the ley line, the
the
chalice. The chalice that Logan was trying to get particularly saucy with.
Yeah, so this is the kind of game where Dylan definitely has an advantage here. He's seeing a lot of the answers he needs. He's got his Echoing Truth. He had the Force of Will to take down Logan's Brainstorm.
Ooh, and a Duress
Ooh,
actually
yeah.
going to take down this. The only problem is that he doesn't actually have a whole lot of ways to develop a board.
Yeah. So, neither player really has a lot going on in their hand right now. But Dylan, looking pretty good. I think... Look at this hand, I might go for...
I might take the ley line.
I think I would take the ley line as well. You will have ways to deal with the ensnaring bridge. The ley line is just going to be much more difficult.
And it sets you back regardless.
Yeah.
To where you can't, against the ensnaring bridge, you can develop the board and wait to get another answer.
Exactly. You can't develop under ensnaring bridge.
Alright, and we're getting a knock, knock, knock.
Yeah.
Yeah, good work.
Alright. Whew. So, he drew Leyline turn 1.
It looks like it.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Yes, he did. If it had only been a 7.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to go for...
Another Chalice,
That's
which it looks like is going to have to resolve.
That's such a good draw.
Yeah.
I mean, draw Leyline, draw Chalice. Both players continuing to not draw a whole lot of pressure. We do have what appears to be a Careful
Study land.
Is that a Gristlebrand in hand, though?
Oh, it might be.
Okay, so we do...
Alright, so he's holding it, but
But he
currently
can't
with no
cast
way
it.
to pitch it.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. And the Chalice on 1, while yes, it is very oppressive against Reanimator, it is something Dylan can play through. You know, he does... Getting a creature into the yard is going to be a little more difficult now.
He does run, actually, Is It Charm as another
All right.
additional backup for that
So
as well.
that definitely does help him then. But more importantly, he has a lot of not 1 mana reanimate options.
We're going to, have you match mine. We're going to have you tilt yours up as well.
Way back.
Yeah.
Well, if we're doing that.
Does Dylan not have a way to deal with enchantments? He has Echoing Truth.
And he does have
Abrupt Decay for
Abrupt Decay
Solar
in the sideboard, which is an option but doesn't really deal with that ensnaring.
Or Leyline.
The Leyline. It deals with everything else. The ensnaring bridge, the chalices.
How did it get higher up?
What?
This thing. It got higher up.
It's a fantastic question. I don't know.
Now I'm concerned about it.
Just let it be. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about the zombies in the background.
That might have looked weird for everybody. Sorry about that.
Yep. And Tevin, Dylan definitely is holding Echoing Truth in his hand, which, you know, when he needs it, it's available to him, but I think we're going to see that holding up for something more like if Logan is able to draw into and cast a Leyline.
No Maelstrom Pulse? No,
Nope.
not in this deck. Not at all. There's actually not even any green. It's blue-black with a splash of red. Oh, no, it has the Abrupt Decay
it's a very
splash.
small splash of green.
But not for a 3-mana card.
No.
No,
I mean, absolutely not for a 3-mana sorcery that can get countered. No chance he's going to be playing Pulse.
No. And it doesn't discard as a cost. Then it might be worth it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things wrong with Pulse for this specific matchup.
Mm-hmm. So, we get the bridge coming out. We do still have a mana up. We have a Forcible, and is that a Signet?
Force, and I can't quite tell.
I think that's a Dimir. I think that's a Dimir Talisman.
Talisman or Signet, yeah. And
interesting.
one of the nice things though is, you know, the way Logan's deck plays is he is already down to 13 life just from his own lands, which is giving Dylan an advantage here. That once he does stick a creature, he's already, you know, a pretty substantial amount into Logan's life total.
Which to be like it was a Signet.
Mm-hmm. And a Talisman, all right.
Looks
So
like we
Logan
were both
holding-
right.
Yeah, Logan holding just the Force of Will then. Dylan not in the best place, holding the, I believe we established as a Gristlebrand, and then a couple of 1-mana cantrips, and this Echoing Truth. It is an option for Dylan to to go for the Echoing Truth, pick up the Chalice, and cast his cantrips while he's got the option.
Mhm.
Although I'm not a big fan of that, especially since he doesn't have a fetch at the moment
Yep.
for that Brainstorm.
And Logan does have a hard cast force.
Mhm. Now he does.
Well, yeah, no.
On the last turn, it wasn't as much of an option, and if he continues to cast spells, it still isn't.
Whoa.
Logan going really low here.
You're going hard
oh,
to the pavement.
Opting not to. Oof, Chalice on 2.
Against this Echoing Truth is so good. It's forcing Dylan to play it now, and it's not going to be able to answer the actual one.
Mhm.
You go
Well,
for the one.
if he Echoing Truth's the one, Logan is still holding the Ancient Tomb to recast it now.
But he would be countered by his new Chalice. So
Very
actually,
true. The Chalice on 2 does prevent Logan from recasting the Chalice on 1.
Mhm.
I do like that.
I think you go for the Chalice on one over the
Mhm.
Ensnaring Bridge. You're not going to get to deal with the bridge in the future, and that is pretty unfortunate.
Right,
But
you're going to have to draw another one. Another Echoing Truth, or a
But-
Decay to deal with it.
I think Decay is your only draw, because you now your Echoing Truths are going to be countered.
Yeah.
So
Dylan did draw the Force of Will here. Not bad. Although letting this... Ooh. Now
I don't
this
know.
is really interesting because Dylan is holding the Animate Dead. So if he forces this, it gives Logan the option to redrop his Chalice on 1. But...
if he forces, he no longer has the Careful Study.
Oh, that's also true.
The Careful Study is his only actual discard outlet in
Mhm.
hand.
Yeah, I'm not sure what else Dylan's putting back in addition to his Animate
force
Dead.
it and hope to draw? But actually, I'd probably just let that happen.
I
and
think
maybe
you
draw-
let it happen because you have more,
One-mana
one mana.
options.
You have reanimate. Yeah, and getting
Ponder.
your ponders, your brainstorms back is going to be really important. We might let this one resolve, and then Dylan is holding up a Force of Will for something like a ley line down the road.
NBCA, you're watching it. Tezzerator is a tap-out control deck in
And
Legacy.
The Chalice was not on 0, it was on the stack.
Yeah. Yeah. So the Chalice on 2, I like it. Keep it around. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm very okay with that.
Chalice on 2 is not useless. I mean, it does hurt Logan, but it also, is hurting Dylan in that he's holding an Animate Dead in hand. Over half his reanimate effects are 2 mana. That is relevant here. And, one sec.
No. Logan is allowed to cast that.
He's allowed to cast it. He does have to declare his trigger, though.
Dylan is, I mean...
He can't miss it. He has to say that it triggers. And
What?
I'm a little bothered by that.
Well...
Logan, did
Yeah.
you declare your Chalice trigger there?
Well, you cast a Chalice on 2.
Threw a Chalice on 2. Its CMC on the stack is 2.
No, your Chalice on
You
1.
had a Chalice on 2. You cast Chalice for 1. The CMC on the stack of the Chalice for 1 is 2. Logan missed his trigger, which he's not allowed to do. Well, the Chalice on 1 didn't need to get forced. You countered it, and you're not allowed to miss declaring that you countered it. You're not allowed to miss your Chalice trigger casting your
We've
own spells.
informed them.
So he didn't need to counter.
He didn't. He's allowed to. He just didn't need to. It's something. Technically, we potentially could make them back it up because Logan's not allowed to miss declaring that trigger.
Yeah. I mean...
I kind of would
That's
like to
close
do.
enough.
I mean, I'd like to do
Close
that
enough.
since it just happened.
Yeah, we're close enough.
So
Go,
yeah,
go do your thing. He's gonna go do his thing. Oh, there we go. All right. So, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Yes, you did hear that one. Let's see here. I'm not sure.
we were not fast enough on that. They had already taken multiple turns before we could get
Was
them
that
to try
2
and stop.
turns? Goodness
Yeah, because they
gracious.
just did very quick draw go.
Oh, was it?
So we weren't able to rewind it efficiently enough, but Logan has a warning
So,
that he is.
to be fair, it is a warning in an unsanctioned event.
Yes.
But a warning is, nonetheless. I think it. I'm gonna go on a limb here and say that was not intentional.
No, it was not intentional. Logan
Yeah.
did not know. But, like.
Teddy Swain, you are correct. Dylan did, however, still have the option of countering
Yes,
it.
he's allowed to counter it. However, Logan didn't announce his Chalice trigger. That's the key issue here.
All right. So,
I gave him a stern finger waggling and told him not to do it again.
oh my goodness. No, I mean it is going to change things, but they.
I mean, Dylan not having a Force of Will, like the 1 point of life doesn't matter. That lack of force in hand is really what makes the difference right now.
It is going to make a difference. But, actually, I guess there's not a whole lot of point in holding it back, because if it's going to get back in your hand, you're going to have to wait to cast it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, and this is where that force might make a
Oh.
big difference.
So, we're going to move forward, because that's what happens. Sometimes when you're playing an event that allows proxy so that people can keep playing, and then, you don't sanction the events because of that, to just go for them. And then occasionally, same things happen, and
Yeah.
unfortunately... now, don't get me wrong, I appreciate all of you being here, but at the same point, this isn't the Pro Tour, and things will happen.
Yep. Speaking of, though, we have 84 people opting for us instead of the Pro Tour.
Thanks.
Really getting
Get
there.
it going! I'm getting the hype.
Yeah.
I'm moving the fingers. Jazz hands.
I remember when not that long ago, just getting 84 people in a Legacy stream was a big deal.
I mean, that's still a
even
big
when
deal
we
to me.
weren't competing against anything. This is amazing to have all of you guys here watching us.
How's this? Should be 1,000.
Ooh,
Thanks.
that would be phenomenal.
Maybe one day. If you are brand new, feel free to toss into the chat. My name's TJ.
My name's
I'm
Joe.
apparently an odd guy, and we're streaming from Geek Fortress in Snohomish, Washington, having a great time doing it. Man, Sorry, I'm a bit. You know what? Maybe maybe I am insane. All right. What?
Ooh.
Done.
I like it.
Tell your friends. Get me past 100. I want to. TJ needs a brand new hat. TJ needs a brand new hat. It's on the internet. It's now officially recorded as a promise. A duress. Getting cast here. We've still got.
Double force and 2 more blue cards.
That's really good.
Wow.
That's
I mean,
really good.
I didn't quite see Dylan's hand, but I think an option here is take a force and play through the other one, but...
You might almost want to take the transmute. Now that you have it, you're not going to be able to get into a counterfight over that, and that's kind of his instant win.
Yeah.
There's probably an argument for taking the transmute, because at least if you... Takes the force, though.
Yeah, I think he's going to try and just cast 2 reanimates here. Because he's got them in hand. Yeah, he's holding double reanimate, so he's able to cast reanimate, get it forced, cast reanimate, and resolve his Gristlebrand. Unfortunately, staring down at Jace the Mind Sculptor. And then he ends up with a Gristlebrand in hand, and honestly, a pretty decent 6 mana up for Reanimator. Not, something he's usually going to be up to, but still not enough to hardcast that Gristlebrand down the line.
Absolutely.
Which makes
true.
that, makes the Jace the Mind Sculptor really unfortunate. And we might just see Logan let this resolve because he's holding the Mind Sculptor.
Everybody tell your friends, if we get 100 plus views, or viewers at one time, TJ gets a brand new hat to wear on stream.
Is it 100 anyways, or just right now?
I think 100 tonight. I think it was 100 tonight.
Okay, and that is another fantastic point. Chalice on 2 means Logan's hand doesn't matter. Force of Will was the only relevant card he owned.
No, okay, yeah, that's absolutely the right choice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, so Dylan,
Joel, you
getting
nailed
his
it.
Gristlebrand. Unfortunately, his options right now are, gain the 7 before Logan bounces it back to hand.
Do I think that the Chalice on 2 was a bad idea? On the board state that he had, no.
No, the Chalice on 2, where Logan was sitting at the time,
backfired.
Looked amazing, and it really backfired. Unfortunately, looking at this double ensnaring bridge is making this a much harder game for Dylan. He doesn't have the black mana right now, but...
Yeah, I think overall it was kind of... Logan made that play, and the way that it goes wrong is if Dylan has it now, the Echoing Truth now.
Ooh, this Pithing Needle, though, is going to be making a big difference. Because now, Logan loses access to his Mind Sculptor, which was his response to the...
If you want to open that door and find out.
Yeah.
Yeah, wait.
Do you have an idea for where that needle's on? What's the needle on?
Jace the douche waffle. He said Jace the douche.
Alright,
Family friendly!
We're not allowed to repeat what Dylan Jupp said, but it's on Jace the Mind Sculptor. So yeah, Dylan's options are to draw into double decay for these ensnaring bridges, or just getting his next Echoing Truth and really rebuilding his life total, keeping his hand full. And side note, since we had come up earlier, did Dylan have any specific enchantment hate?
They can hear it when you shout, by the way.
Waffle, not Walker. But all I said was waffle. But Dylan does have the Golgari Charm, which is a destroy target enchantment as one of its modes. So that is helpful. Alright, so Dylan not seeing what he needs yet, but he is not out of this game.
Alright, so we have a careful study. The internet is PG-13, no, but I do try and keep this stream family friendly because it's something that I think is important.
Dylan is unfortunately not quite at this phenomenal life total.
No, I've had to keep it just in that one. He's in fact lower.
A little bit.
Do you go for the fetch then?
I think so, yeah. You just go for the fetch right now.
Okay.
Alright, and Dylan not looking phenomenal. Dylan is at 1. He was at 16, resolved to reanimate targeting Gristlebrand, going down to 8, paying 7 to refill his hand, leaving at 1.
Yep. It's I mean, is Dylan actually Tom Cruise? Because this is some risky business.
And Captain QC, yes, they do, but both players can acknowledge that it doesn't matter right now.
Yep.
Hey, and that, no, okay. Alright, they caught it. Dylan gets to keep his current graveyard, and he's also just holding the Golgari Charm to blow up the ley line when it becomes irrelevant. However, it doesn't matter. He still has a full yard. I don't think he has any creatures right now, but he's holding a Gristlebrand. And at any time, in response to whatever Logan is doing, he will be able to... Dylan... Okay, I think this is in response to the ley line. I was like, this is some risky business if that's what he's going for. Alright, and here comes the Tidespout Tyrant. Chalice.
Oh, there's a Chalice on 2.
Yeah. But no, I'm not saying relevant right now. I'm saying... Okay, I guess I did say that. But in general, we talked about it. He has the Golgari Charm. But yes, thank you for catching that. Chalice is something that many people, unfortunately, including myself, frequently tend to forget about when looking at board states. Mm-hmm. Yes, the Golgari Charm will be countered by the Chalice. Thank you. However,
Missio, it is good to see you. Fun fact, if we get 100 or more people, someone in the chat is going to buy me a brand new hat, and I'm going to wear it Wednesday.
Yeah.
As long as it's family friendly, as long as it's appropriate.
Yep.
I guess if it's wildly inappropriate, then I'll just wear it on Tots.
And we're getting pretty close. We're less than 20 people away from TJ getting a brand new hat.
Brand new hat.
Yep. And so now, Dylan, unfortunately, does need to get a response to this Chalice. Really, he's looking to top deck the Abrupt Decay, blow up the Chalice on 2, which does give Logan access to a lot of his deck, but... Okay, there you go, Logan. Although, funnily enough, doesn't really matter if that's in play or in the yard, it's coming back.
Look at that. We've got a hat. We got a command for it now. Never Lucky Rubber Ducky. Ooh, I do like that.
Ooh, nice. So I think Dylan at this point is just looking for a... Yeah, he needs... I'm not sure what he's doing right here.
Let's see here.
Yeah, so Dylan looking for the Abrupt Decay, get rid of the Chalice. Then he can Animate Dead or Exhume to get back his Tidespout Tyrant, start casting spells, pick up the Ensnaring Bridges, and just go to town.
Right.
So I think that's really where Dylan is at. Oh, he was moving to discard. That's why he ended up pitching his Golgari Charm. Yeah, so this has gotten to be a very slow and grindy game. Dylan just playing out all his land, which at this point, oddly enough, if Mind Sculptor gets active again, Dylan is able to just start hard casting his Gristlebrand again. Wow. Yeah, Dylan doesn't even need to crack a fetch. Dylan can hard cast a Gristlebrand.
Logan going for the classic, I guess.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Alright, let's see here.
This is phenomenal, and alright, so much for the very fast game that we would be seeing another match afterwards. This game 2 is certainly taking its time. Logan going for the Chalice on 0. Well, Dylan did get his Brainstorm, and that's going to help him find something. And let's see what he's got. And very much there is an Echoing Truth, but
Chalice on 2.
Yep.
That is pretty good.
I'm gonna pop my head out for just a second. Minor note, but that Brainstorm is in the exile.
Gotcha.
Dylan?
Alright, so there we go.
I mean, not really relevant, but worth mentioning.
It's worth mentioning. I will agree with you on that one.
Mm-hmm.
So the Pithy Needle's still taking down this Jace if it's ever removed.
Yeah,
Gets into a solid position. A Chalice? I mean, is it just
think
a Chalice for 0?
It's just a Chalice for 0, and I think that's just building up his artifact count so that if he is able to resolve Tezzeret, Agent of Bolas, he actually is then in a winning position. He resolves it, pluses it, Dylan doesn't have the removal because of the Chalice on 2, and then the Tez ult is a guaranteed victory. And building up his artifact presence means even through a single swing of the Gristlebrand, he still got there. And I'm not sure why we're seeing Dylan concede.
No, yeah, I think Logan is just winning, though I think he just
don't know
scooped for
how.
time.
Yeah, well,
I don't,
for
I don't
time
think
being, he just conceded the match.
Right, I don't see why Logan actually went for it, though. Or, like, I don't think that Logan has the 1 damage available right now.
No.
I don't know.
I think Dylan was just conceding so he can go around the store.
Probably.
Not having fun in that match.
Alright, let's head on
But,
up.
Yep, and I will see if I can find us another
I mean,
match.
Okay, fair enough. He created the fetch, he didn't concede.
Yeah.
Hello and thank you for joining. My name's TJ. Joe is my co-host tonight, and we are streaming from Geek Fortress in Snohomish, Washington, having a blast doing it. Thank you, everybody, for joining us here. We know that there is some very large competition happening out there, and the fact that you are all willing to come join us here tonight means the world to us. We've got 4 rounds of Legacy here tonight. Just watched Tezzerator with Helm in the main board actually take down Reanimator after doing some pretty solid lockout pieces, and Joe is out there trying to find another match for us here in round 2. If you are one of the 80 people out there, can I get a hype? Because we stream 4 times a week. If you are brand new, it's worth hitting that follow button because every Monday at 6:30 Pacific time, you can join us for some Standard at 6:30. Every Wednesday and Saturday, you can join us for some Modern. Wednesdays at 7, Saturdays at 6. It's always a particularly solid time. And on Fridays, every single Friday, you can join us because we do Legacy every single Friday at 7:30, which was actually a decent amount of time ago. So, about an hour and 45 minutes ago is kind of what that time frame was. The GPT, no, I will not be streaming that. Peter, I will not be streaming that one. I have been completely non-stop, and I've got some things to do. Alright. Oh, the top hype man. Nice. Also, hello to everybody. Peter, because I have been streaming almost non-stop, working non-stop, and doing everything else non-stop for the last, since I arrived back from California, and having a day off would be extremely relevant, which I might even end up not taking off, and instead streaming with Todd. But, no, will not be streaming this GPT. At least taking that one off, but I will do further ones future. Oh no, the GPT is still happening. It will be happening. It will not be streamed. Okay. So, but nonetheless, it is worth hitting that follow button, aka Trickster. It is good to see you. Thank you so much for joining. Remember, if we do get to that 100 point, I get a brand new hat. Someone in the chat has said that he will buy me a brand new hat, which I can wear on Wednesday if it's particularly if it is appropriate for the stream. Either way, I'm actually really excited. Let's get to 100 because TJ needs a brand new hat. It's going to be awesome. Otherwise, we're going to try and get another match for you. And remember, if you're going to GP Portland to join us for some super sweet stuff, we've got the pizza meetup happening next Friday, actually, 1 week from today. It's going to be pretty awesome, and I'm really excited about it. It's a place called Pizza Schmitza. It's going to be right down it's 3 blocks away from the venue, and it's going to be very, very cool. Are there any events Saturday night for MTG? Yes, aka Trickster. Every Saturday night we do Modern at 6 o'clock Pacific time. So, about, 3 hours ago, tomorrow, 3 hours ago, right? Is that right? Yes. You can join us for some of that delightful Modern action, which we will still be doing in the face of the Pro Tour, which is going to be pretty impressive, actually, all things considered. So, that's the way that it goes. Otherwise, we are going to be doing some other cool things going. Yes, we have been doing some testing for the Standard GPT. It's going to be a good time. Stackzilla, thank you so much for hitting that follow button. It means the world to me, and I cannot tell you how excited I am to sleep tonight. It is going to be a solid time, followed by testing tomorrow. Also, just a fun fact about this is that yesterday, I'm still kind of excited about this, I got to stream with Todd Stevens, which was, official Trip Nip, you are chosen. our featured viewer of the day. Thank you so much, the official TripNip. You have joined us relatively recently, it feels like, but every time that you have been here, it's been quite exciting. You've always got something good to say, and it's always been delightfully positive and overall a great experience. So, that is great. But otherwise, yeah, going to Portland, it's going to be fun. Streaming lots, going to be awesome. Tomorrow doing some testing for GP Portland, which is actually going to be some of the first testing that I've gotten to do because of the schedule that I have had. I can't wait. I cannot wait. Now is the time where I say thank you to all of you. We are at about 80 people. We're working on getting another match here for you. Goldfish HS, thank you so much for hitting that follow button. If you are brand new, I want to particularly welcome each and every one of you, and to all the regulars, all the people lurking in the chat, all the people who are actively participating. Every single one of you, thank you so much for making this stream what it is, which is an extremely positive thing that I look forward to almost constantly. Oh man, yeah, it's just huge. Also, I had the most interesting thing yesterday. What was it? Oh yeah, basically I have no idea where this is going to end up going. Like, I'm actually just, I am quite excited, because this stream started from quite literally nothing, and it seems to just be going amazing. So,
got a couple people rejecting the stream tonight, but
I'm looking forward to it.
getting ready for our round 3 already.
Are we?
Yep, the reason for the concession from Dylan was they were the last match still going, and he did not actually side in the abrupt case. So he was just doing nothing. Alright, so we have Cody Holman against the wall, playing Tin Fins, and Jason Callop, not against the wall, playing...
Alright, so we have got that, and then we've got Jason Callop.
Yep.
And what is Jason playing?
Jason is playing a Descendant, or a Path Eldrazi, I believe he wants to call. The idea is you Descendant's Path and cheat an Emrakul into play. 2 people we haven't had on stream yet tonight, and some interesting stuff going on.
Huh. So, that's interesting. So Eldrazi's Descendant is what I'm gonna call this one.
Okay.
So this is like a Legacy Eldrazi, but you are also running Descendant's Path so that you can cheat in an Emrakul potentially?
It's, like, really committed to that. It's a mono-green Eldrazi.
I love. All right,
be
round
cool.
3. Let's head on down and have some fun. We'll see you there. All right, so we are gonna go for a turn 1. Actually, that's a gorgeous forest. I'll give him that. My goodness. So let's take a look at this Descendant's Path. Oh man.
Yep. I think my favorite part of it is that it actually says cast. It's not just put it into play.
That is true. I can definitely get behind that one. Ooh, looks like we are going up farther away from the from what we were looking for, which is 100, which I am still quite excited about.
Well, hopefully the ever-exciting round 3 gets some of these people back onto our side.
Absolutely. Now, this Tin Fin's a pretty dedicated Reanimator deck. It's similar to what we saw last time, but actually functions a little bit differently. This is where we will see those rituals, and where we'll also just see some pretty... Oh, Beta Sean, Descendant's Path plus Mutavault.
He is running them.
I love that.
Yeah, so it's
See
definitely
Mutavault in
interesting.
hand.
And it's also just got all the high-value...
I see a Thought Knot.
yeah, he's got Thought Knot series. He's got Matter Reshaper, which helps you, get to your Descendant's Path. So it does play like a mono-green Eldrazi deck with the Descendant's Path for just a ton of value.
That was empty.
Yeah, so it's a really cool deck, and I'd like to see it work. And then there's also people, unless I'm horribly mistaken, people think Tin Fins is fun to watch.
Do I think that they'll ban Treasure Cruise, Dig Through Time, and Postmodern? I have no idea what format that you're even referring to right now.
But it's banned in everything else, so I'm going to say yes.
Yeah. But I have no idea what Postmodern is. Huh. I don't know.
It's the modern format where every deck runs Trading Post.
I have no idea what that is.
Yeah, me neither.
Anyway, so a Sylvan Library for Jason, a pretty solid start where you do also have that Eldrazi Temple, which means that a land next turn, much like a Mutavault, is going to lead to a Thought Knot Seer, which against this Tin Fins deck, if Cody doesn't actually get the discard now...
He does.
Yeah, I mean...
He had the Entomb for the Gristlebrand, and he's got a...
Goros?
I think he also had the shop. Oh, I was looking at the...
worst.
All right, I was looking at the New Art and Tomb. I always think that's a shallow grave, but yeah.
Huh. Oh, postmodern is M15 and up. Format doesn't
Interesting.
exist yet.
Huh.
That's my answer.
There you
Also,
go.
talking about bands and stuff, I am. Ugh, I don't know. I am not big into talking about band discussions. They're
Yeah.
gonna happen regardless of whether or not the discussion happens.
For sure.
So, we're gonna apparently draw a lot of cards, drawing all the way, going down to 6 to draw 14 cards, and possibly just trying to make sure that nothing resolves and that you can control the board.
No, he's just trying to win the game right now. There's not actually counter magic in most Tinfin list.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, what he's trying to do is get more mana, petals, rituals, reanimate the Emrakul off of a Vengeance or Shallow Grave, and just win.
Mm-hmm.
Alternatively, he doesn't have it right now, so he's going to go for the swing, gain the life, spend the life, draw, and continue to combo out. I was talking to him earlier today, and he's running the 1 Children of Corliss, so that at this point, if he's able to cast it, then, he's got a lot going on.
This is particularly interesting. Just the throwing of things here. I like that Emrakul. That's kind of fun. Oh,
Yeah.
man. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, so Tinfin's is the combo deck. He's trying to go off as quickly as possible, and this is really what he's trying to go off with. And coming back to the chat for just a moment, I believe I had a question from Timelight, is it? Asking if my Zombardment list is up. Yes, it is. My Modern Zombardment is current on Tapped Out.
You didn't send me a link.
I did send you a link.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
I'm the worst then. No, you're fine. All right. So, I'll tweet that out as soon as I can.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I'll just make sure I did. I'm quite confident, but I'll double check.
huh. So, Teddy Swain upping the ante. 100, I get the new hat. 200, they'll throw in a Hulkamania headband. Which
Whoa.
actually, whoa, I'm all about the Macho Man. 300, add an Ultimate Warrior headband and a face painting kit. Well, I need some Ultimate Warrior. Hulk Hogan is just trying to take Elizabeth.
Yeah, the naming on Tinfins?
It is a C-Lab 20 whatever reference. It's a C-Lab reference.
Okay, I was like, I know I've heard it. I just can never remember what it is.
Yep. I actually have never seen the show, so I don't get the reference personally.
Me neither.
But Grizzleby from C-Lab 2021, apparently.
Ah.
Yep. That is apparently what's happening.
Cody just discard, or is mid discard?
It appears to be
There it
mid-discard.
goes. Okay, I was like, he's gonna need to shuffle those away.
So it doesn't
Okay, I
look...
think he's just deciding on his exact discard. Going for the shuffle.
Huh.
Oof, so this is actually a pretty unfortunate thing for Tinfins. He's supposed to
Win?
yeah, once he gets
Get me to 200. I need
That's
this.
pretty rad. But yeah, no, if you, pretty much once you get the Gristlebane in play, the amount of card draw is supposed to just let you combo out. The fact that he didn't get any more fast mana to continue his combo is pretty unfortunate for him right now. And having to discard the Emrakuls means he's going to have, less graveyard to work with, and he has to pretty much start from scratch. And Beta Sean 2002, yes, Tinfins did whiff in the sense that he only got to swing once with his Emrakul.
Wow.
Or not Emrakul, Griselbrand.
But still.
I mean,
In a Thought-Knot
whipping
Seer.
for Tinfins is
A Thought-Knot
still
Seer
good.
here. A Thought-Knot Seer followed up by a turn of Descendant's Path and a Worldly Tutor in hand.
Yeah.
So, I think Cody still has a chance to
There's the
win.
link for it.
Awesome. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yep.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So, Cody likely able to go off next turn, except for the fact that actually this Thought-Knot Seer might have something to say about it. And if he can if Cody's hand was kept purely for one singular reason, and really molded around having exactly what they want, then this Thought-Knot Seer could wreak havoc with it. Otherwise, I think Jason is going for potentially the Descendant's Path and activating the Mutavault at the upkeep, especially which is risky. This is risky. Yeah. Huh.
This is certainly interesting.
Interesting. Is he running the Tendrils? I believe so.
Yeah, he
Should
told me
be.
earlier, he does have the ability to storm out, so yes.
Okay.
And Looks like he might have another Shallow Grave and Entomb in hand, or...
I love weird deck names in Legacy. I can appreciate ones that are reasonable in Modern, and I think that Standard, because it's the format that has the highest number of new players, as well as it being the most successful, or the most, it's recent, accessible, all that stuff, I like that Standard keeps names that are I really did not like Obs on Red and all that nonsense.
Yeah.
But I do like the idea that Standard, I think that it should scale with the format.
Yeah.
The more new players, the more accessible the deck name should be.
Womp womp, Shallow Grave.
So that's pretty good.
And that's pretty much the end of the end of the game, I should say.
How does the Eldrazi deck work? It's going to try and have this card activate. At the beginning of your upkeep, reveal the top card of your library. If it's a creature card that shares a type with a creature you control, you may cast it without paying its mana cost. Well,
so the idea is he's got a Mutavault, which gives him access to
actually, that is a pretty nice watch. Otherwise, looks like not too much happening there.
No, so just revealing that he did have it on the next turn.
Yep.
So Descendant's Path, reveal a top card. You have a Mutavault. If it's a creature, you're guaranteed that it shares a type with creature control.
You can
Since
actually
Mutavault
Worldly
has
Tutor
all-
in response.
Yeah, so that's what he was going to go for. That's what I was revealing. He was going to Worldly Tutor, getting his own Emrakul, and just go for it.
Which is pretty sweet, actually.
Yeah, I really like what Jason is doing here. Unfortunately, it looks like Tin Fins might just be a little too fast for him. But I would really like to see him get it at least one game tonight. Like, this is a super sweet deck going on here.
Absolutely, and I think that's kind of the interesting thing is that between the two of them, Jason is the one trying to play fair magic.
Yeah,
Like-
between the two decks, the Descendant's Path cheat and Emrakul into play is the fair one.
And that's the problem, is that he isn't trying to cheat an Emrakul into play, he's trying to cheat to cast an Emrakul, and that's where he went wrong. It's too fair. It's too fair.
Yeah. He's trying to cheat his Emrakul into one turn to 8.
Oh, man. As far as talking about a new Modern from M15 forward, it very likely would not function. We have seen time and time again that when you have multiple formats that are similar without having any clear-cut benefit over one or another, one of them will take over the other. We saw, Extended itself was not a particularly successful format. We've seen it with Tiny Leaders in EDH. We've seen it with every custom format and Modern. We've seen it with No Ban, Modern, and Modern. We've seen it with... The format that does not offer any actual substance will eventually get eaten up. And I don't see that one adding anything that Modern doesn't already have.
Right. It would be like the cheap new version of Modern that, in and of itself, wouldn't, I feel like, make Wizards that much money compared to just playing Standard.
Standard makes them money.
Yeah.
Non-rotating formats, while still makes them money, makes them less money.
It makes them money in the sense that
Moving
it
up
keeps
to 15.
their second-party market in existence.
Yep.
So,
But moving it up to 15 still doesn't actually, because that's still sets that are out of print, have already been sold, and they're not making money off of it. So I don't.
Right.
I honestly don't think that it's going to happen.
Yeah.
I think that one day a new format will arrive. Sure, that will be fine.
Yeah.
It's unlikely to happen anytime soon.
And for a quick touch on the deck names post that people are getting up in the chat, Team America reminded me there was a Team Italia deck for a while that was not red, white, and blue, and that makes me so happy. It was just named after, like, the Italian team at the big event they were going to.
That was Naya, wasn't it?
No, it was Dead Guy Ale with red. So it was
beautiful.
Yeah, it was white, red, black, named Team Italia because it's what the Italians were playing. It had nothing to do with the colors of the Italian flag. It just was what the Italians played, and I think it was so funny.
I actually do really think that. I really don't think that they're going to do no reserve list Modern for two reasons. One,
No reserve list Legacy.
Well, no reserve list Legacy. Sorry.
Yeah.
No reserve list Legacy. On the one hand, give me Burn in that format.
Oh my
Give me Burn all day. It's Legacy Burn against Modern mana base.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that is insanely good.
Yeah.
But the second reason for that one is just because the reserve list does not make sense from a which ones are on it perspective. Every format that has ever been created and been successful has had very clear cut lines. When someone says, I want to play No reserve list legacy. How do I play it? People say, great. Everything is included. Or 8th edition is forward, is included. If you say everything in legacy, except you also have to find which cards are on the reserved list and not include those ones.
Yeah.
Not going to happen.
Yeah.
Realistically, I think that the formats that they have are fine. They're not really yearning to add another format. One day they will. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to happen.
Yeah.
Not now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the thought there.
Yep.
Team America is
Just Bug.
Is Bug.
I love it. I think it's funny that, like, you would expect that, you know, they'd be playing the colors of their flag, and they never are.
Yeah.
I just get a kick out of it.
So, mulligans from both players.
Mhm.
Glorious here.
Yep, and we had a couple questions also about the Eldrazi Descendant deck being played. I'm not 100% sure on Chalice. I didn't really get a good look at his deck list. He just showed me enough cards to give the rough idea as he was walking over to the feature match table.
This is no Eldrazi Sky Spawner. This is
That's
just
pretty
like
rad.
this is like a ported modern deck that just interesting.
Yeah, and then there was also a question about Miri's Guile, and I think he's just going for the Worldly Tutor and Sylvan Library over that. Like, really, the instances where Miri's Guile is better is you can set up your Descendants path, but you can also just set it up with Sylvan Library the turn before.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's my opinion.
Alright. Doro, it still doesn't have clear-cut lines, though. When you're, like, looking through a box, having to go to a point where you have to look up each card individually is dispensuated. I didn't even, like, actually get to look at it too well. I'm pretty sure I mispronounced that, though.
Possible.
I am almost positive, actually. But that played this Eldrazi Descend deck at the Modern at GPLA. That's awesome.
That's really cool.
Dispensated? Dispensated. Got it.
Sweet.
Dispensated, thank you so much for joining us. It's
Yeah.
great having you. Thank you. It's
Yeah.
awesome. All right. But yeah, realistically, Modern is still a very, very young format. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that we're going to be seeing anything good going on here
No.
as far as adding a new format. Maybe one day. Entomb from Cody.
Certainly not terrible.
What is it with Magic players and just having to talk about bans?
Something that interests people.
Mm-hmm.
Banning the deck that they don't like instead of actually learning how to beat it.
I think that's probably what it is. So a surgeon.
I like it.
Ooh!
Looking good. The blue deck with no counter magic.
My
Yup.
man.
My man.
Looking good.
Seems effective.
Yes.
Technically, though, and this is something that's going to kill me if he misses it, he does actually have to reach over and take the Gristlebrand out of Cody's graveyard. He is allowed to choose not to.
There
And
might be a
there's-
verbal communication on it.
There is, but he is allowed to leave the one in his graveyard when resolving this.
Oh my.
And that kills me about this spell. Okay, that's good, because I know I have
Taking
seen it happen where
Oh,
the
that is
person
still wicked, though.
casts the surgical and actually loses the game because they don't remove
Really?
the one from the graveyard.
You
Because-
you don't probably have to physically touch it. You might just have to like.
But if you,
You have to
if
at
you say,
least-
I target the one in your graveyard, and they just drop their cards and say, all right, exile everyone you would like to. If you don't touch it,
Oh my goodness.
you failed to exile it. And I've seen Chase win games in very competitive tournaments by someone doing that. Exactly.
Really?
Yes.
That's interesting.
You are extirpate. You are not allowed to. You exile target card from a graveyard and then continue to resolve it.
But surgical is
Surgical, you target the card and then search their hand, library, and graveyard, and then exile every copy you choose to find. You are 100% allowed to miss the one you targeted.
Fantastic.
It's painful to watch, but legal.
Vince, I don't really know what you're referring to be honest, but I don't really feel like you're staring at me since I'm, looking at a screen right now.
Yeah.
All right. So, a brainstorm here from Cody, taking a look at. Looks like we do have another Entomb. I mean, are there? What do we even go for at that point then? Into the yard.
If he gets the mana up, then he's able to Entomb and instant speed reanimate Emrakul. which certainly isn't bad. You know, it's not going to win the game in one swing. Jason still being 18.
Uh-huh.
But it does completely scrub his board and make him restart as well.
Okay.
Oh, and I think Seraph was making a Rick and Morty reference.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fun fact, while I will say the reference, I have seen, like, just the first season or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
The show is hilarious. I have no time to watch it.
Understandable.
Like, I would
You
love
spend
it.
all your time here.
It's pretty much because I spend all my time
Yeah.
here. I'm not complaining about that. I love it. But it does mean that if I ever get the chance to watch it, I will. I
Yeah.
just very rarely actually, like,
Mhm.
turn on a TV or like,
Yeah.
the computer to go watch something.
And so it actually looks like Cody is either it's like, I'm not sure what he's going for right now.
Maybe we're just going for the win via tendrils.
Okay, this is what he's doing. He's going for the Cabal Ritual. I think now he's got 3 mana. He can entomb Goryo's Vengeance and get that Emrakul, like I mentioned earlier.
Yep.
So it looks like that's. I was about to say he's 1 land or Lotus Petal away from doing this. Alternatively, he's 1 ritual away.
Ritual's not a bad card.
Or Jason missed a Gristlebrand.
He missed... More like Mistelbrand.
Another thing Jason is allowed to do.
No!
That hurts.
No!
Wow. I mean, it's one way for the game to go, but it
That's
never
rough to
feels
see.
good. Yeah, no,
The Mistelbrand. That is what this play will be known forevermore.
fingers crossed Jason has the second surgical to back this up, but that hurts.
That is so rough.
And here's the Goryo's Vengeance. Yeah, I think it could be different art, and Jatron,
Calling
no
a judge isn't
call.
going to do anything. You don't exile all of them. You just get to
he
find
exiled
them.
all the ones he chose to find and missed one. And that's just the way it goes. I think it might be that he,
Judge doesn't run 2.
he actually runs 4.
Really?
I saw his
Same
list
art.
before the event. I think he had a mix of pack and regular. And Teddy, yeah, that is what we just saw happen, and that's
Oh my goodness. Rage Fang, it's great to see you. Thank you so much
Yep.
for joining.
And,
Hello, my name's TJ.
my name's Joe.
We're streaming from Geek Fortress in Snohomish, Washington, and that surgical in the graveyard, it did hit a Gristlebrand earlier.
Yep, and oof.
Oh my goodness.
Here comes the Dark Ritual, and wow. And now I think we're seeing the Emrakul and the Swing for Lethal.
Huh. And we're just gonna shallow grave in this
And Trigger, and
I mean, do we just likely get it back? And we're
and
picking
he
them up.
just has to reveal, because, well, that is a lethal swing.
Yeah.
He's presenting 22 damage right
That is
now. Oof.
wow.
Feels bad.
That is... I will tell you
Rough.
what, though. I bet
I
that
mean-
is the last time that ever happens to Jason.
I bet as well, but
oh my
that's very
goodness.
unfortunate. And even if that hadn't been the case, I mean, he still would have been taking a hit from Emrakul that turn because Cody still had that option.
Oh my goodness. So,
Yeah.
let's head back up to the booth.
And I'll see what other match we can find.
Let's do it. Hello, hello, it's great to see you all. My name's TJ, Joe's the co-host. We're streaming from Geek Fortress in Snohomish, Washington, and just saw a surgical extraction go wrong. Unfortunate there, but remember, we're currently at right around 80 people. If we do get to 100 today, I get a new hat, which is going to be pretty exciting. So, a new hat as promised in the chat, which is exciting. R. Jorgensen, it's good to see you. Hello to everybody just joining. I know that we're not going to be having a big stream today. 70 is kind of where we were expecting as we started off this stream discussing it. That's kind of where we're looking to be this one. It's some pretty big competition this weekend, and I can accept that. That's just the way that it goes, after all. There's kind of a big event happening. I don't really know if any of you have heard of it, but it's like this big standard tournament, which it's why I chose not to go to it. I thought about going for an interactive match this time. We'll see what we can do. When you've got Joe in charge of it, you never know what's going to happen. But we'll see what we've got. Otherwise, doing some sweet Legacy streaming, and hopefully we can get me to a brand new hat by the end of the night. Otherwise, we're in round 3 of 4. Remember, if you are brand new, 1, toss it into the chat. Let me know where you're watching from and how you found us. Knowing how you found us is really important to us, whether it's by just looking at the Twitch page, finding us through Reddit, through a friend, through Twitter, Facebook, anything like that. It's always impactful to us to know what is effective and what isn't. So you can join us every Monday at 6:30 Pacific time. It's currently 9:40 here, so please make the appropriate adjustments. But every 6:30 on a Monday, you can join us for some standard. Every Wednesday and Saturday, we've got modern. Wednesdays at 7 and Saturdays at 6. And every Friday at 7:30, just like tonight, we've got Legacy. It's a good time in general. T-Dog6420, thank you so much. I appreciate having you. It's honestly incredible having you as a part of this stream going forward, and I look forward to interacting with you in the future. Since you did hit that follow button, let me know where you're watching from, how do you find us, and what is your favorite strategy / deck / format, whatever you like to play. You're watching from California, don't remember how you found us. Jtron, it was probably because we were playing some sweet formats, would be my assumption. Ooh, and what can we turn this hat into? Now, let's start getting it wicked here. This is an what size tiara do I wear? The most princessy one? I honestly don't know. Does anybody want to help me out on that one? I don't know how to measure one. But nonetheless, we should mass advertise. Yeah. Do it. But also maybe not do it. I don't know. Ooh, and apparently, possibly that way. Start taking notes. The missile brand moment. Peter, we have considered that. It's pretty far back, and unfortunately we do have about a year of time. I do like the idea of it potentially in the future. Okay, and I
have
do
another
see
incredibly long, grindy, exciting,
interactive
match.
Lewis is on.
Reg. They were the people we had ready to go.
They were just asking for... You know what? No, let's do it. Let's do it. The Logan is getting some fantastic matchups.
The wrong Logan, by the way.
What game were we going to?
2.
And who took game 1?
Logan.
Really? Was it with
Much more interestingly, both on mulligans to 4, and they actually had a game that they said would have been fun to watch.
Favorite uncard 6 words.
Old fogey. Damn rules. Of course.
Rocket-powered turbo slug. Red haste.
Super haste.
The Great Gristlebrand debacle. Welcome to the Great Gristlebrand debacle. The coin flip matchup. Yeah, I would love to do that. So one of these days I might go through our YouTube and try and find it. The problem is that we probably have
Which one?
If we go through and make a best of moments one day.
Oh.
One of these days I'll start just spending any free time that I have just listening to our old YouTube and trying to jot down best
David's
of
good at
moments.
the tech stuff. Make him do it.
Yes. All right, let's head on down for game 2. So, Barner Weeb, it's good to see you. Thank you so much for hitting that
Hey.
follow button. Wait, you didn't hit that follow button. You just joined us in the chat. My bad, but thank you so much. I don't recognize your name. It's awesome having you. If you are just joining us for the first time, I want to say welcome. Thank you for joining the Geek Fortress streamer here 4 nights a week. If you're brand new, hello. Or I'm sorry, but if you are returning and I'm just forgetting, and I apologize for that one. Sometimes I'm bad with names. Names aren't my strong suit, but I tend to do pretty well with all of these ones. Nonetheless, be sure to join us in the future. I want to say welcome back if you are not brand new. It's great having you. And you, Barner Weeb, this is talking to you. You are a rock star. Thank you so much for joining.
Well, looks like you got a follow out of him, so job well done.
First time! Nailed it. Thank you so much. If you ever have any questions, any comments, any feedback, anything like that,
Oh,
definitely
looks like we're going
toss
to the
it
next
in.
match.
Well, let's go ahead and get the next match up on camera.
All right, so I guess we'll see you back at the booth in just a moment, and I'll go get you the next match.
Yeah.
Or they're actually playing it out. All right.
I mean, we could hardcast a Stinkweed imp right now. No, we can't.
Can't hardcast it. I mean, yeah, the fact that it's mana, not mana list dredge. It really looked like they were just going for the next game, though.
I don't even
Wow.
know.
Barter
Barter
Weave.
Weave, you did
Thank-
it! You're
thank you.
rock star. You're drunk. You're causing the lightning. Everybody hears the thunder when you enter into the Geek Fortress. Welcome to the Fortnights. We're happy to have you. Need more energy? My bad. I'm just excited about the opportunity to actually sleep. I cannot tell you how low I've been running this entire week. I have been house sitting 2 houses in addition to the extra
Wow.
stream that I did and the job that I have.
Nice.
So my week has been actually it has been my element, but it has been like
Sounds like you should just quit your job and have more time for the stream.
We'll see. Yesterday, actually, someone sent me a message. They're like, "I'm gonna give it 2 months until you're doing commentary for a GP," and I was like, "Blah. What?
That would be pretty rad.
That's ambitious.
Yeah.
Maybe one day.
Mhm.
Maybe one day. Maybe I'll do a Star City or a GP one day. Is that a goal that I should set for myself?
Yeah. Ooh, here we go. Lewis bringing the beats. Which, if Logan kept a hand just for that ley line, this is actually going places.
Watch out, everybody! The Narcs are here, and they're getting in hot.
Oh, alternatively Tezzeret.
Ooh, it's so spicy. So Logan did not keep this hand purely on the benefit of having a ley line of the void, is what
Yeah.
we're saying here now.
Ugh.
Oh my
And able
goodness.
to find a Strix off of it. Strix just in his hand, doesn't have the capacity to cast it this turn, but is looking like he's in a pretty good position.
I have been mulling over the idea of trying to get a Geek Pre circuit to try and have our own GP thing and
That'd be
get like
pretty
a
cool.
like have a thing to where you actually earn points. We're working on again of
Okay.
all the side projects that we have. We're trying to prioritize. It's kind of low right
Mhm.
now, but actually setting up a point system to have a Geek Pre to where it can
Yeah.
be the Geek Fortress GP.
Nice.
Yeah.
Alright, so Lewis going for a Faithless Looting, looking at what he wants to discard.
Did you hear that? My
What?
neck.
Oh, is that what that was?
Yeah.
Damn, dude.
I know.
Take it easy.
So,
All
an
right.
attack 4-1 at this Tezzeret. Get.
Alright.
Whoa.
Lew-
Who do you send letters to get me to stream a GP? I have no idea.
Oh, man.
I am not the person to answer that one.
That'd be pretty fantastic, though.
I guess Wizards?
Yeah.
I don't know. What's his life total? Is he at 14?
Looks like it, yeah. Off of this, Cephalid Coliseum and City Brass.
This is fantastic. So an ensnaring bridge coming down, but he's still got cards in
Apparently,
hand. It ain't
this-
doing nothing.
This is how their game 1 went as well. That he had the ensnaring bridge, was unfortunately stuck with 1 card in hand. Lewis had 7 1/1s in play and was able to bring the beats through that.
Just powering in. Oh, I
Oh.
love it. Just get in hot and spicy at this Tezzeret.
No.
Who cares about the fact that that's a massive card advantage engine, that you're not killing Logan while you're letting it happen? Get in
Mhm.
after it.
Well,
Rock
plus
and roll, Dredge. You do you.
His plus on the Tezzeret brings him up to 3 cards, makes it even harder for him to empty his hand.
Classic
If Lo-
misplay.
I was just say, if Logan can get another black mana source, another City Traders, or I guess the Gemstone Mine does the job too, he's also now holding a Nether Shadow that he can cast and just keep the beats coming. Oh,
I'm so excited right now. Oh my goodness. The Nether Shadow.
I think my favorite combo though with the Tezzeret and Ensnaring Bridge is using the Tez to animate Ensnaring Bridge.
I actually really like the idea of next turn turning this Baleful Strix into a 5/5.
So it blocks
Except
more
now you
efficiently.
have to block. So I would have liked that last turn, except I think you
Yeah.
might have found the Baleful Strix off of it.
No,
No, that came down, didn't it?
the Baleful Strix was the turn before. He held up his
Yeah,
blocker.
yeah, you're right.
Dropped the Ensnaring Bridge last turn, and then Tez after tapping out.
Yeah,
Lands. So the reason, because he's playing Dredge,
Like-
will allow this because he tends, the Leyline
is
of the Void
Dredge.
with, without that, he's going to be playing with a ton of space consumed by laying out his graveyard.
that's basically the answer. It's Dredge, not real
So,
magic.
yeah, but because it's Dredge, he tends to play all of his permanents in one line at the top of his field, and then everything else, his graveyard takes up the rest of his side of the field. So, that's what's going on there, and I'm really digging what you're doing with your hat, TJ.
My hat can become so big.
It is a beautiful butterfly. Alright, so
Wow.
now Lewis just needs to drop some mana denial make Logan skip his untap step, and this helm is doing nothing.
I kind of look like that dinosaur from Jurassic Park. Like,
Oh yeah. All right, so that was the game for them. Now we can go find our next match, our third match for round 4. I'll see what's still playing, see if anyone actually wants to get under the camera. And in the meantime, I believe we'll see you back up there in the booth.
we'll see you there. Let's have some fun. Get me a new hat. Let's get to 100.
Yeah.
Hello everybody and thank you for joining. I've got a big hat. I was going for a pirate theme, so let's bring it back up to that. But otherwise, I am discovering all kinds of benefits about this hat as we dive into this stream. Thank you so much. My name's TJ. We're streaming out of Geek Fortress in Snohomish, Washington, having an absolute blast doing this because the more we do this, the more we learn about just how great this can be and how fun the experience is. And I am not looking to stop this anytime soon. If anything, I keep looking for ways to do it more. Is this round 3 or 4? This is round 3 of the 4 that we will be having today. It is all kinds of awesome. If you're brand new, be sure to toss it in. In the meantime, it's time to ask all of you a question. So, let's be real. The Pro Tour is on, but we're doing a decent job of competing with it. In the future, we have considered some of these large events makes it very hard to stream. I like the idea that we can... what? Hold on. I might have goofed. I'm almost positive that this is round 3. I'm almost positive. This is still round 3, right?
This is round 3.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, it's still round 3. Nonetheless, okay. Oh, no. Not to my knowledge that it's currently round 4, but it's still having a blast. Let me know. Should we continue? Because sometimes like these big either stream GPs or the Pro Tour, anything like that happens. Should we stop the stream that weekend or should we keep going? Because it can sometimes be difficult, but I kind of like it. Oh, thanks very much. What is my favorite food, Lito? My favorite food is, I would say, chicken fettuccine alfredo. That's probably the one that I order the most when I go to restaurants. It's a really solid one. I like it a lot. It's a homemade one. Oh, a homemade one is always solid. I like it. It's awesome. It's a rock and roll time. Man, now it's all about, like, the big thing is that we're all trying to figure out what things we have. So our current priorities for this stream, we have got so many projects. I think Slowly Crashing is privy to most of them. I'm using the word privy because I am a pirate today, of course, but I don't do accents as much anymore. I did accents last time and everyone hated it. Like, yeah, it was it was pretty bad. But we've got, working on getting the Twitch partnership as soon as we possibly can. We're working on getting some kind of tournament structure. We're working on eventually making a podcast. We're working on eventually getting a Facebook group up and running. We are working on getting actual article writing happening. We are working on getting other potentially side tournaments up and running. We're working on getting merchandise made. We're working on getting actually, I think another side project of Coleman's that is fairly secret right now. Hey, Teddy Swain, thank you so much. Man, but there is so many ideas that we have. We're working on getting new Layover 4.0. We are working on getting a mod. Actually, keep in mind, by the way, we are working on getting a host tournament up and running. So we're thinking about taking an entire Sunday and doing eight of the hosts doing a single elimination tournament in which if you're out, you're out, but all 7 rounds of it we stream with different commentary based on who's not in the match. How far along are any of those? We've heard about my spare time. We have a huge list of projects. Right now my priority is to just get Twitch partnership. The next, like all my spare time that I arrive to is going to be getting spare time. So, like getting the Twitch partnership as soon as we possibly can.
Alright, so we're actually on round 4 now.
Alright.
And, I'm not going to get in trouble this time. The finalists would prefer not to be under camera.
Okay.
So we have the next matchup is going to be Eli Eubank against the Wall playing Kodos Eldrazi against Dylan Falk playing Standstill.
Alright. What are the finals? If they're okay with just, like, what the decks
finals, it's... I'm not 100%. It's Aaron Walker. I believe he might be playing a variant on Thing of the Ice, Grixis. I'm not. Don't quote me on that. I'm not 100%.
You said it's Blue-White Standstill?
I believe it's Blue-White Standstill. But it's Aaron Walker versus Logan Rifle on Tezzerator. Our
Nice.
finalists.
I can understand
you
that one. Okay.
Aaron doesn't want to be on camera tonight, so
That's okay.
yep,
Good.
perfectly respectable. We have our next matchup at instead.
All right. You mean the others are helping? Yes, the others are helping, but we're all busy people. Let's head on down, have some fun, and let's rock and roll. We'll see you down there. Oh, and look at that. I'm clearly favoring Dylan already, and I forgot to hit that save button.
There we go.
There we go. We fixed it. But, my, quote deleted, please note, quote numbers may have shifted during flight. Oh, man. There we go.
Ooh, we have 74 quotes, or had 74 quotes.
Yeah, we're at
Wow.
73 quotes right now. It's pretty fantastic.
That is a lot.
It's certainly good. Currently, I don't ask anything in the chat, and most of them are side projects that pretty much require being here and involved. How are TJ and Joe playing commentating at the same time? Actually, I'm not. All I'm doing is practicing my card throwing. I throw them out there. Joe actually has one of those extendable robot cards.
Yeah.
Is Eldrazi favorite here? I think so.
Could be Standstill.
I think
I mean-
that Thought Not Seer is going to be a house.
For sure, Thought here is going to be very good.
And just going so much faster. Like, he's
Yeah,
playing
I mean-
turn 3 while Dylan is still looking to drop down the standstill. And if you want to talk about established boards, Dylan trying to get the game done with manlands, maybe not too good against an extremely resilient to spot removal Reality Smasher.
That's true. Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see how this game plays out, because Landstill plays a lot of, I guess Landstill does play a lot of prison elements.
So does
This is-
Eli, though.
Yeah, and that's why I'm saying this is a very interesting match, and I'm excited to see how it turns out. All right, I like the.
Thanks, Doro. I maintain that the one that talks about at least a minimum of 60% of those are just all of you catching me whenever I say something just outrageously awful. Just like stupid.
Yeah,
It's all me saying something dumb and then like legitimately funny stuff from everyone else.
yeah.
So we have got a Chalice on 1.
Immediately taken down by an EE
Or I'm sorry,
on
Chalice
0.
of 0, yeah.
It was a Chalice on 1, and an EE on 0. Because once the Chalice is in play,
I'm
X
sorry,
is equal
yes.
to 0 again.
There we
It
go.
was, yeah, so that's why the EE on 0 was relevant here.
Alright. See, look at that. Quote number 43. As true now as actually potentially. It should probably be at least at this point.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we have a polluted delta coming down for Dylan heading into 3. And how do you feel about what Dylan's looking at right now, as far as what his game plan is?
Currently, it looks, if Dylan is able to drop the standstill, obviously this Matter Reshaper is going to be a problem. However, I believe the Matter Reshaper is a death trigger, not an actual leaves the battlefield trigger. Alright, and this
Interesting.
Vendilion Click also certainly not bad.
We should get a lot of our quotes on a t-shirt.
Yeah. But, yeah, so the Click certainly not bad. It does help shore up Dylan's, board state. And as it is, 19 to 16, Dylan will win this race of 3 power creatures.
That's true. That's true, but I think Eli's got a really solid way to follow it up.
For sure. But if Dylan is able to keep, an aggressive prison in play, exiling his opponent's creatures, especially since he's using Swords to Plowshares as a lot of his removal, that does handle the Matter Reshaper very efficiently, since it does not give Eli the extra card off of the, death trigger.
World Breaker wins. World Breaker wins this.
Yeah.
That card is straight gas. Oh, I'm not. I've been hanging out with Todd too much. That card is no, but seriously, that card is gas. That card is so good.
Yeah. But it's going to be a little bit before Eli is able to cast it, and that,
Well, there we go.
there it is.
But that World Breaker is so good.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. If we reach the numbers you said earlier for the modern stream tomorrow night, you'll hold to the original deal. Thanks, Teddy Swaint.
Nice. Also, I'd really like to see if Eli drops this World Breaker, targets a standstill once it's in play. That would be unfortunate, but a fun way to talk about priorities and triggers on the stack.
Goldfish, hello from Russia with love. Your favorite deck is Enduring Ideal. How many have we seen this deck on tournaments? Actually, so Goldfish, thank you so much. Hello to Russia. That's incredible. How often have we seen it? Actually, we had Logan, one of actually our occasional co-hosts, ran a modern Enduring Ideal deck, a red-white one, for quite some time, and I think still has it put together.
Okay.
I could try and convince him to play it potentially. I don't think he's here tomorrow, but actually, I can try and convince him to play it for one of our upcoming modern streams.
Oh, that's pretty rad.
Winning with Phyrexian Unlife and Form of the Dragon together on the battlefield at the same time.
Nice.
It's really cool. But that's awesome. Hello. I hope you're enjoying the stream. I really do. To everyone else, I sincerely and genuinely and very, very much hope that you are all enjoying the stream. Matter Shaper out on the battlefield. Certainly not a bad card right here, but this mana base is just wrecking Eli. And with no way to actually cast this World Breaker, it's pretty difficult.
Yeah.
There we go. That's how you get Dilophosaurus. Dilophosaurus TJ.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's what we need on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
You should get a t-shirt of your face doing that on the front. Your quote of 60% of your quotes are just me saying stupid things in quotes on the back, and wear it when you go to big events.
You just gotta get a
Like wear that to Portland.
Twitch partnership. Get an emote of this with like acid, straight acid. That World Breaker is the promo.
Yeah.
We're showing it
Yeah.
up above.
So, I bet this Gnome's print shop could get you that shirt made before Portland.
The problem is that I have to have the time to design it, and I really don't.
No, the problem is David Bradbury has to have the time to design.
Let's not abuse David. David
No,
does so
David
much
is a
good for us.
phenomenal person. He does so much for this stream. We would not nearly be where we are right now without all of his phenomenal work.
Oh my goodness. So,
Ooh, yeah, this being on YouTube means we'll be able to make GIFs out of it. Or, excuse me, GIFs out of it.
woo. Are those Summer Magic duels? Okay, so actually what they are is we actually allow proxies in our store.
Yeah.
Basically what happens is that you are allowed to have any number of proxies, but they have to look good enough to be on stream, first of all. Second is that if you win any store credit with it, it means that you actually have to spend any store credit, any winnings on it, on the cards that you're proxying.
Yeah.
Alright.
And Time Night, there are not
None.
a lot of big events out here.
No.
Like last year we had a Legacy GP conveniently in Tacoma,
But
but
that's-
otherwise it's just, there's a couple stores in Seattle that are bigger that run some 1Ks and whatnot, but otherwise it's just the local stores doing their thing.
Alright, is there a way that the guys going to GP Pwn can make a short hello video when we're down there and post it to the Facebook page? What do you mean, like a hello from Portland? I don't entirely know what you mean.
It's where you walk around the airport with your phone out, just talking to your phone instead of paying attention to where you're walking.
Oh yeah, I can totally do that. Yeah, absolutely. So, looks like we've got the Ancient Tomb joining as well. We do have...
Alright, so I believe that does get Eli the World Breaker. I assume we're going to be
This
seeing
card
it.
is so good.
I assume it's going to be taking down the
Wait, this isn't World Breaker. I'm sorry. This is I'm saying the wrong card.
Oh, Endbringer.
Thank you.
Okay, so that
I've been thinking World Breaker, and I've been saying, or I've been thinking Endbringer, saying World
okay,
Breaker.
so that does help Dylan a bit here, just because
I'm wrong.
It will give him the ability to ping the Vendilion click. However, that puts him at 2, and that does, effectively. And there's the bolt. All right, taking it down.
Endbringer is so good. By the way, every time that I said World Breaker previously, Joe, I meant Endbringer. This card is so good.
It's okay.
Look at it.
Yeah,
it's a
no, and
5/5 for 6.
Oh, I've
like,
had people play that against me.
1 damage, and it untaps.
And it draws cards.
And it draws cards.
Yo.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good, Joe.
I know. It's the bane of the Enchantress v Eldrazi matchup because they get to Endbringer to kill my Eidolon Blossoms if they've got 2 of them.
But they can't target you because you have a solitary confinement.
Probably true. Also,
Oh man, I can't handle it. I can't. I'm gonna take my hat off just for how sweet that card is.
yeah.
So I'll be honest. I have no actual, like, I don't know what the point of a hello video is, and maybe that's me just totally missing it, but I don't get it.
Yeah.
Also, that was totally Jeskai Landstill.
Oh, I suppose it is Jeskai now.
But I have no idea what the point of a hello video is. I'd be down for it, sure,
Yeah.
but I'm not entirely sure. Like, is it just me like sitting there and going hi? Like, I just. Please elaborate so that I can actually do it, is I guess what I'm asking. But, let's see. Heading into a game 2. Really surprised to see Jeskai take that one. But it actually didn't play out how you would expect Standstill to play out.
The Standstill deck didn't play, the slow, grindy
Standstill,
Landstill.
Force of Wills.
It was playing its, what was it called? It did play out
It's
the...
like a telescope.
Not sure
does that
what's
mean?
like a telescope.
I don't know.
Not sure. But the Vendilion Clique's not terribly surprising because that does help, establish a board presence that he needs to win the game early on. And then, it is also a pretty effective control card, filtering what your opponent is able to play out of their hand.
Mm-hmm.
So, not terribly surprising to see that. And then Dylan was just able to play a more aggressive plan. I think Eli's lands played a pretty essential part in that matchup, getting him to the point that each player having a creature power 3 let Dylan win that race.
Mm-hmm.
And then, Eli having his larger creatures lacking the mana to get going fast enough just allowed Dylan to get ahead in that game and effectively out-tempo Eldrazi.
Yeah, and the flying was just so big.
Yeah.
Though, funnily enough, Worldbreaker, the other card I was talking about, does have reach. It's just probably not in this deck.
Yeah, being pure colorless, I would assume not.
Huh. Interesting. I'll have to look into vlogging. I do have a camera, but my phone's battery does not like me.
Mm.
But I do have another camera. Maybe I can bring it and do some stuff there and do some vlogging. My goodness, I look like a warrior. Oh my goodness.
And this is how you have to go to all your games in Portland.
I do. I need to bring the fire hat. Anytime that I go to a
Yes.
modern event, be like, you'll need this. And then just wear this.
Yeah.
Okay. I do just like documenting, so I can just do documentation for the sake of documentation.
Yeah.
I like that. Alright, I'll see what I can do. I'll do my best. To be honest, I tend to be, very in the moment, which means that it's hard to, take the time to do all this, outside stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll do my absolute best.
Yeah.
Is this a no? Should I stop this? I don't entirely...
You should never stop this. It's
Okay.
phenomenal.
Okay. But, yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure if I should keep doing this. This is really a good disguise, actually. I can't even tell that it's me.
Yeah.
I look like a bird.
I don't even know what I'm in the booth with
I
anymore.
look like I'm part turkey. That's what it is.
The most majestic of birds.
I really look like I'm part turkey. If I can get these to hang down too. So,
Gobble gobble.
a Thought-Knot's here coming down really
True
solid.
Thought-Knot.
Looks like a fetch in response, possibly.
So, yep, fetch so that he gets a sword off of the ETB trigger before the Thought-Knot is able to exile it. Does give Eli a healthy chunk of life right here, but that's not really what we're concerned about right now.
No, and you do still get the effect, which is going to be big.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest part, is that, sure, on the one hand, you're able to make sure that the creature isn't there. That's definitely fine.
Yep.
But,
He does get to take a spell out of Dylan's hand. At least Dylan is able to cast the, fun little thing, because the Thought-Knot left early, Dylan gets his draw, and now Eli gets to pick his favorite card. It's not protected off of the draw.
Yep.
So
we do have Jace, Council's Judgment.
Not a terrible card. I think that...
Interesting.
The Council's Judgment might be the take here. The Mind Sculptor certainly is going to be giving a lot of lasting value, but when Jace's function of removing a creature from play is to return it to Eli's hand, when he then gets to recast it and either recycle the ETB or cast Trigger, that's not really what Dylan's hoping to accomplish here.
So Council's Judgment is your pick.
I think so.
I like that. Also, you can just attack a Jace the Mind Sculptor. You can't attack a Council's Judgment.
Exactly.
Which sounds like the most obvious sentence in the world.
But it is very relevant considering what Eli's deck is.
Mm-hmm. So Dylan at 19, Eli at 22 after this Ancient Tomb, but gaining the 4 life.
Yep. So looks like Eli really. All right, he's going for the Mind Sculptor.
Interesting.
I think it's a fine pick. I think I like
I think they're both.
the Council's Judgment just a bit more, but yeah, either one of those, perfectly fine. Just because the Jace the Mind Sculptor is much more lasting value, but the Council's Judgment
That's a
potentially
smasher.
Oof.
And and a Cavern naming Eldrazi.
Yep.
That is.
I don't think Dylan's
actually
holding any counter magic right now,
Funnily
but
enough, doesn't matter. He needs to use colorless mana to cast it, so that's actually counterable.
well, he gets the colors mana off of the Ancient Tomb.
Oh no, you're right. So you can just pay a color for that.
Yep.
Pitches the lightning bolt to path to swords it.
Yeah, not bad. Unfortunately, Eli still staying well
You're
above
right,
20
you're right.
at this point.
Use
but
the mana. We get an unblocked one, and we're just going to drop down a 2/2. I like
Yep.
this. It's a way to just continually pressure the board if you keep
Yeah.
going for like giant ones.
although I believe if Dylan gets the red mana, I believe he was holding 2 lightning bolts. He only pitched one of them to swords this Reality Smasher. If he draws a bolt, Eli dropping that 2/2 Endless one is not going to be sticking around for too long.
That's okay. I'm okay with that though. Like,
Yeah.
if I'm Eli, you know where I don't want these lightning bolts going?
To the face.
To the face.
Yeah.
Because that means that Dylan is winning. But if he's spending all of his resources taking care of like what
An
your threats
endless
are,
stream of Eli's creatures.
and especially this endless one, which costs so little resources. It's basically trading a card for a card, but weirdly enough, when's the last time that you saw yourself get ahead on mana tempo against a lightning bolt?
Yeah, no, that's very
Like,
true.
it's a 0 mana card that you're making potentially, and Dylan doesn't even have the red mana.
No, but he does have a very efficient block here because he's able to use the planes to animate the Mishra's Factory, block, tap the Mishra's Factory to give itself +1/+1, and take down the Endless one.
Fun fact, it would have Summoning Sickness, cannot.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I was like, he's still.
This turn.
That's right. That's right.
He
This
can
turn,
attack in freely.
he can attack in relatively safely.
Yeah, Summoning Sickness is actually
True.
relevant right now.
Something this is relevant for Dylan's blocks.
Yes.
Very true. Let's see if Eli catches that. See how he ends up playing it out.
Looks like he.
I think he is considering that Mishra's Factory and not thinking about the Summoning Stinkus, as I just did.
Yep.
And going for the swing in anyways.
I like it.
All right. And
Dylan is at 17. He fetched earlier.
Yep. No, 17. You had a fetch. Yep. No worries.
All right. So. Ooh.
I like it.
And we're gonna have more fetches going forward. So.
Certainly good because that does get him his red mana he will need to cast this bolt down the line.
It also means that you do have an endless stream of blocks with this Mishra's Factory as a
Yep.
worst case scenario. You can actually just interact
Yeah.
with this board as much as you really need to.
For sure.
To
Yeah,
to
well,
buy your time as a.
And I believe he
potential.
is playing a Wasteland as a land still deck, so once he has the Crucible in play, that Wasteland is incredibly effective at what it's doing.
It's really good against Eldrazi. When's the last time that you saw a basic run in the Legacy Eldrazi list?
I mean, they do have a colorless basic land now that they have access to, but they don't run it. There is no waste.
It would just be such a waste of a slot.
Nah.
It's because I'm a pirate. I do what I want.
Fair enough.
That was so moody to say. That was probably the moodiest I've ever sounded.
Just do what I want.
So, a city of traitors going to the bin. Otherwise, we still have this, but we're missing threats right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're at 84. Remember, if we get to 100 people today, Teddy Swain has to buy me a new hat.
Yeah. It's pretty exciting.
If we get to 200, he's going to get me a Macho Man cowboy hat.
Yep.
And if we get to 300, he's going to get me an Ultimate Warrior headband and some face paint.
That's going to be really exciting. So,
I know.
So-
Wait. Is it possible to change the Ultimate Warrior headband into some Macho Man sunglasses?
ooh.
Just a thought.
TJ just going to be Macho Man in the booth. That would be phenomenal.
I mean, I don't want to tell you that Halloween is an event, but Halloween is an event.
Halloween is also any day of the year that you want.
Oh my goodness. So, I mean, I'm a pirate today. So
That's also not tonight.
we be going for yet another fetch land as we drop in the.
Today's the 5th, right?
Today is the 5th.
Alright, cool.
Why?
This command says the 6th. Just want to double check.
I wonder if it's off of a different time zone.
Tonight, tomorrow.
Interesting.
Could be.
Doro might be because Doro made that in 3 hours ahead.
But that was at least an hour ago.
Interesting. I don't know.
Anywho, so alright, so we are seeing, back to the game, we've got a standstill, or we'll sequence properly, a lightning bolt taking down the 2/2 endless one from Eli, and a standstill filling up Dylan's hand the minute Eli attempts to cast any other creatures. The most exciting is, as we were talking about earlier with the World Breaker not actually in the deck, casting it using the cast trigger to target standstill, the standstill will actually sack in response and draw down the cards anyways. Fun little tidbit.
Fun little tidbit. Seraphir, that was a pretty lazy joke.
Wah, wah.
Everybody's just going to town with that. Oh man, so the Mishra's Factory getting in, calling it a day, and doing
Yep.
a little bit of work for the team.
And-
Gonna be knocking Eli down to 21. I never really expected that I would see Mishra's Factory doing a better beatdown game plan against Eldrazi right now.
Yeah, so I think, we saw Dylan doing exactly what I wanted to do. Just all the removal, don't let Eli maintain a board for long enough, and then once there's actually nothing in play, drop a standstill and just go to town. The fact that he has this Crucible Worlds makes it even better. The only thing he's really missing at this point, and I believe it is one of in the deck, is a Sun Titan. So once the standstill gets cracked, all he has to do is swing back in, and he just gets his standstill back.
That's pretty good.
And yes, that is a Real City, a Proxy Cavern, and Proxy Ancient Tombs, sitting next to Real City of Traders.
Yep.
And funnily enough, one of the only decks that we allow to do the colorless proxies is the deck playing all colorless mana with black and white proxies.
You know, I hadn't even thought about that, but I'm gonna sneeze just because of it.
Good call.
Wait, maybe not.
Oh.
The Reality Smasher really set me off, so it looks like we're gonna be doing some smushing on Eli's side of the field.
And cast trigger. Or, excuse me, I believe that is a tutor reveal. But once he does go for the cast, Dylan's going to get to draw a lot of cards.
It does seem like a reasonable way to go about your game plan.
Yeah, and I will say, not necessarily related to this game, but the most standstills I've ever had in play against me at one time, 3.
That is a fun fact.
Yeah,
I
fun.
mean, not fun for, whoever cast the first spell.
Me. My opponent's got a Sun Titan and 3 standstills. I have to do something.
So, looks like we're losing the city of Tratos with an Urborg. Tratos.
Which is certainly nice for Eli here, since the Mishra's Factory is doing a pretty efficient beatdown plan. Getting the Urborg allows his Ancient Tombs to tap for not 2 damage.
That Matter Reshaper is so underwhelming.
Yeah.
But you also have the Reality Smasher,
Mhm.
so I guess you can just go for both of them.
So we're going for the...
We're gonna draw some cards.
Yep.
We doing it.
3 mana, and Dylan not actually drawing the removal he needs.
Tratos.
I think Eli needs to pay another couple mana for this Reality Smasher, unless I'm mistaken.
We do, in fact, spent the City of Traders and the Eye of...
Oh,
the Eye of Ilion
okay.
Reduces.
I didn't see him using the city. Okay, yeah, the floated mana off the city is
Yep.
take care of it then. Perfect. I thought he was missing 2 mana, but the city.
Nope, we are good.
Perfect.
We are spicy. We're a meatball. We're rocking and rolling, tipping and toeing, going through the tulips, meeting Tiny Tim,
Oh.
telling him that we have got all kinds of tubular times ahead.
Yep.
What's with the pirate hat, MUX? I'll be honest with you. I thought to myself, this is exactly how my thought process went. I'm going to be streaming against the Pro Tour. Might as well wear a pirate hat if I'm going to try and steal some views.
Yeah.
That was my actual thought process for it.
I like it. Also, Dylan holding on to a engineered explosives in hand. I would love to see him fetch, get it back with the Crucible, fetch, and I believe he has the mana he needs if he has all the colors to EE, or he can cancel Judgment, I guess. Otherwise, he would have been able to EE for 5 and take down the
That
Reality
seems
Smasher that
ambitious.
way.
Oh man. By the way, some other projects
Ooh.
that I didn't mention. One is the Geek Fortress Airband, and 2 is the Geek Fortress rap album, which
Nice.
would be Eric and I.
And Reality Smasher says when it is targeted, correct?
Correct.
Beautiful. I love Council's Judgment right now.
Council's Judgment is absurd.
Because you vote and just choose. There's no targeting. Dylan doesn't have to discard anything to that.
That is so good.
And has the Wasteland, I assume, taking on the Eye.
We totally should have
Oof.
taken that one.
Oof. beautiful.
Oh my goodness.
And while Eli,
There's an Urborg out, by the way. He can EE for 4.
yeah.
Not for 5, though.
No, I don't believe he has all 5, but with the EE, Dylan's deck having at least 3 colors in it does give him access to an EE for 4, if nothing else.
But it's not that good. Like, you don't have the Thought Knot out. Yeah, but the Urborg does enable just a little bit.
Free City or Cavern for Eli off of the Matter Reshaper, and probably one of the best things Dylan could have had him flip there, just because it is another land, and that's not all that threatening.
Alright. Miss the Tomb. I'm not sure what you mean there.
Urborg Tomb of Yawgmoth. When they were talking about the number of
Miss
colors
the
Dylan
Urborg.
has
Okay, I
access
thought
to.
you meant Ancient Tomb.
Yeah, and Dylan just going for the Recurring Wasteland right now.
I think we've got some Facelands out there. Oh, good. Yeah, we've got some Wastelands. Just going to go for the one that's a proxy.
Yeah,
And I think
so-
we're going to start ripping apart Eli's mana base.
At this point, Eli really needs to start dropping threats very aggressively. Otherwise, Dylan's going to be able to Wasteland and just keep Eli from building any sort of board presence.
You mean like this one?
Exactly like this one.
I can't wait. Look at this card. The Endbringer is so good. It's so good. Drop it down, slap it down, have yourself a grand old time. Wait, do we have enough? We've got the Ancient Tomb, the Urborg, the
Ooh.
Eldrazi. Yeah, we've got 6.
He is going to have to pay life for it.
I'm so okay with it. Endbringer is so good. If it doesn't die, this card,
if the Endbringer is allowed to live,
it
which
wins.
it
It's
might
just
be.
gonna win the game. Is it Charm? I think we're just going to go for the filter. Draw 2, pitch 2. And I
Looks
don't
like
think that
it.
we saw any removal.
I think we saw. Oh, yeah. I
I
was
think we
gonna say
saw a land and
we
like
saw,
with a counter spell.
Yeah, counter magic, but that Cavern, unfortunately, Eli getting the second one means Dylan was not able to fully waste him off Caverns, and that is allowing this Endbringer to resolve, I believe.
This is so good. No, I think we're in Dylan's turn right now. This is a pass back to Eli.
Oh, wow.
Who draw? Oh, this card is so good. Endbringer is so good.
Rough.
I'm sorry, but I can't handle how good this
Yeah.
is. Do you just go? I mean, attack for 5,
Yeah, I think, yeah, we're going to see the attack for 5.
and then you win.
Untap.
You
and
win your next turn at Dylan's next. Like Dylan gets 2 turns now, except he gets a turn and his upkeep.
Yeah.
You knock him down to 3. Oh, this is a spicy meatball here in the Midwest. We're not in the Midwest, we're in Snohomish, Washington. It felt like the thing to say.
And it looks like Dylan just sitting on a huge stack of counter magic, unable to actually deal. Well, I guess, yeah, Mishra's Factory as a blocker is his best out right now.
But it's 3, so Eli does 1 damage on Dylan's turn, untaps, deals 1 damage, and then at the upkeep deals 1 damage to Dylan.
Yeah, that is very
This
true.
is so good. Oh man, this is.
This is assuming Eli goes that route and doesn't get greedy on the attack.
My name's Eli, and this is my favorite value creature on the Citadel. Jumps in a 3rd Cavern to go for the Smasher. Eldrazi taking a solid game, too.
Gross.
My goodness, that was glorious to see.
Wow.
Alright. Oh, man, we keep fluctuating numbers. This Pro Tour is playing havoc with us. Looks like we're sitting around 70, 75. Hello to everybody who is joining. My name's TJ.
My name's Joe.
We're streaming from Geek Fortress in Snohomish, Washington, going head-to-head with the Pro Tour, and I think we're getting pretty close.
Yeah. I mean, we're certainly getting some pretty good numbers, all things considered, tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty pleased. I was kind of thinking, like, I think, what did I say when I walked in?
TJ said when he walked in today, he told me he would be proud if we got 10 people watching Legacy tonight.
Pretty much.
So I think TJ is pretty ecstatic right now.
I'm seriously good. Thank you so much to everybody who's a mainstay, who came out to watch some Legacy. I seriously appreciate it. And to everybody who is joining us for the first time, that's so phenomenal. Thank you so much. We do this 4 times a week, and I love doing it. Also, we are going to be doing, if you are brand new, or if you're going to GP Portland, here's another quick reminder. Remember to join us at Pizza Schmitza at GP Portland, 3 blocks away from the venue. It's going to be an awesome time. Yeah, 15,000 and 75 are exactly the same. I don't know what you're talking about, and frankly, I think that you always hype, to tell the truth. Hype is hype. Let's be honest. I will say one thing. I don't have a whole lot of things to, like, really get to, like, have a claim here. But I will say that maybe I'm the best hype guy on Twitch. Maybe? Maybe?
Yeah.
Is that a
You're-
reasonable
You're a
claim?
pretty good hype guy.
Is that where I get it? Which, I don't know. I can dig that one. I think maybe, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I have all kinds of goals of just, like, figuring stuff out here.
Yeah.
But I will admit that I have, like, lightly fantasized. Like, the last time the community came up around, I was like, man, that would be fun to do.
Yeah.
And just, like, things like that. Maybe one day. Are we streaming Sunday? No. Though, there's a small chance. I'm currently debating whether either going to a top 8 viewing party or actually streaming standard with Todd.
Okay.
So, giving that a whirl and doing, like, a starting at 11 in the morning here. MUX,
Oh.
that makes me sad. I hope to see you more in the future.
Yeah.
Okay, you're hoping to make it to Geek Fortress? Hey.
Nice.
Hey, Alcacio, I look
Yep.
forward to meeting you if I haven't already.
And I'm also going to be
Is
putting
that
together.
an awful City of Traders?
Yeah.
Okay.
And,
Man, we gotta talk to Eli about these proxies.
They're Logan's. Also, fun
Uh,
fact: Logan owns every single card in this deck.
They're just all in Tesserator?
Yep.
Interesting.
Yep. He
Yeah,
is
okay.
actually working on getting the second set of everything though, so he will be able to.
How did the PPTQ stream? We got up to like 740. We got 230-ish new followers. It went really, really well.
Not enough.
A bolt in
not,
response.
Not enough zombardment, if you ask me though.
Not enough bombardment. But that's the big thing. And remember, we have gotten to 3,000 followers. We are just working on figuring out the logistical issues. We are soon going to be doing a giveaway of basically each of the hosts is going to be signing a playset of a card that is very them and also potentially competitively played. For example, I will be doing lightning bolts.
I'm going to be doing Baleful Strix.
Whoa, why are
They're
you
pretty
being
cheap right now.
Are they really?
Yeah. They're like, what, $4?
Are they really?
That's like on par with bolts, depending on the edition you get.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm giving away Baleful Strix.
Wow, way to one up.
Super and Legacy exclusive, just like me.
I think yours just became the most desirable one that we're doing.
And also, look what I got for signing.
I love that. Can I take one of those for
Yeah.
Portland?
Yeah.
Awesome. That's really cool. Okay, so we've got a Matter Reshaper out for Eli, who uses the City of Traders, plays out the Wasteland, and then gets his own Wasteland wastelanded.
Beautiful.
Wow, what a draw.
Especially because Dylan just bolted through a Matter Reshaper.
Is Eli aware that a card fell off the top of his deck?
Could be.
Uh,
No, let's
let's see.
poke our heart out. Hey Eli.
Are you aware that
fell off your deck.
Are you aware that there's a card that fell off your deck?
Cool.
Yeah.
Oof. So Dylan playing to his outs, going for the bolt on the Matter Reshaper, and got it.
Yeah, that worked out pretty well.
And also already has his Wasteland and
I think we're going for...
Crucible.
What are we going for here?
I'm not sure.
Did we just cast that to go for the Scion? We went for the Scion. Gotcha.
Gotcha. Certainly a fun route. to
Mole
take.
Drifter would be fine. Joe is just totally exceeding us. I think Eric's doing, like, Spreading Seas.
That's rad. I was just trying to think, like, what a cool card that I like to play is that's not, like... I love Bloodghast. They're like 25 a piece right now, and I'm not
Right.
doing that.
Right.
But,
We had another one for you. We had a thought. I forget
I
what
mean,
it was.
there are cards, but, like, a lot of the cards that I love and that I play in decks, no one else wants to play.
Mm-hmm.
No one wants a playset of Nefarious Lich.
Oh, we were thinking a playset of Greater Gargadon. That's what it was.
Also, would be more expensive than
Baleful right now?
Baleful right now.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Look at Wasteland the Wastelanding. Eli dropping down a Wasteland, taking down Dylan's Volcanic Island, left with a Mishra's Factory, and looks to be an Ancient Tomb on Eli's side of the field, who is going to be going down to 15. Faithless Looting might be a good one.
Yeah, I don't know. I already said it. I'm committed.
You're committed to Baleful?
I'm committed. I love the card. It's
Man,
great.
no, that's solid. That is a... You're,
If we get 10,000 followers tonight, they'll be foil.
wow. Huh.
I'll commit. If we can get that,
If
I'm
we can
willing
go-
to do that.
That's fine. Yeah. If we get to 13,000 followers tonight, yeah, I'd be okay with that. So,
Yeah.
Dylan going down
I'd
16.
drop the money on it.
At this point, we're just going for the, let's keep activating these endless ones. This Chalice on
Wow.
1 is doing such an interesting thing with the battlefield, to where Eli is winning purely off of the merit of Dylan can't cast anything. Anything.
Well, I mean, he has his Crucible in place, so he has access to all of his lands. He's just not casting anything at the moment. And because this Mishra's Factory, at the very least, isn't summoning sick, on this turn, we are going to get into those blocks we were talking about, where he's able to animate Factory, declare it blocking, tap it to buff itself, and just take down, not trade with, an Endless One. And that is going to very quickly start pushing this board state in Dylan's favor.
And I think Eli just made a misplay.
I think Eli just learned what Dylan's Mishra's Factory is capable of.
Yep. So, we're going to go down to 10, still kind of winning the race if there is going to be one, but...
For sure. I mean, Eli does have the race, but he just misses a land drop. Dylan, even if he has no lands in hand, has the Crucible in play. It would be very possible to see him just pull up this Wasteland so he is ready on the next turn. The minute Eli attempts to drop...
He does have a land in hand.
Okay, he just didn't want to go on the...
He's got no Eldrazi.
He didn't want to try and put it up against the Wasteland because he has
got
nothing
no
to
Eldrazi
cast.
Temple.
But if that isn't casting him any spells...
You think he's just trying to save it?
He's just saving it until he can do something.
Interesting. And we draw into... What is that?
I'm not
That
sure.
looks like a black card to me, but I'm not used to there being any colored spells in this deck.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what it is. It could just be a very dark promo of one of the Eldrazi's. That's what it looks like to me.
That's possible.
Alright, going for the swing. Very interesting here.
This is a... I mean...
Especially since even if this land is destroyed, and he did let it go through to being declared a blocker, I'm curious what Eli's thought process is right now.
That's a disfigure.
Ah, okay.
That's a disfigure.
Going for the disfigure.
Though, let it be blocked first. I would have gone for it far before it activating itself.
Yeah, so Eli had the Dismember, paying a lot of life for that.
Just to let it be blocked, though, I would have gone for it right at activation.
For sure.
I mean, you know, it just seems like the logical step to me. But maybe was going to see if he was going to go for it.
Did Dylan not play a land on his turn?
You may notice that Eli doesn't have the Eldrazi Temple again.
Oh, okay.
He has a Crucible. So he's just saying, I'll wasteland that.
Right, I missed them
Yeah.
going for that cycle.
Yep.
Okay,
And
thank you.
The only problem is that these Mishras can come back.
Yes.
Oh,
For sure. I mean, that's kind of what I had assumed he was going for.
Oh!
Nice. Going for the old wear tear.
Nice. Wearing this chalice as a beautiful blanket. What a nice throw, because he pitched it to the bin.
Nice. Oof. And that is going to be doing a lot of work for Dylan here.
Just scarfing down these Eldrazi. It's more wearing things references.
Yeah. Oof.
CMC is not 1. CMC is 2 for destroy target artifact. CMC is 1 for...
Casting the red half of the spell, CMC's 2.
Yep.
Although, interestingly enough, or is that whichever half he was casting, CMC is 2 on one of those.
Yep.
And stand still. Oof.
Interesting. Are we counting now? Thought not is 4. Nailed it. Nailed it.
Palinchron is 7.
Joe, you jumped the chain.
Nope.
Okay. You got it. And
Gorgeous.
Dylan just won.
Yeah, considering they just restarted the game, both of them at sub 10 life, but Dylan having an actual board state. Ugh.
And Eli
Wow.
taking the loss in stride there. Ooh, let's head back up to the booth and have some fun.
Yep.
We might have time for possibly a round 5, maybe. What's your thoughts?
Well, we'll see if we have
another game
game,
match.
but that could have been it. I don't know. Game's been going pretty quickly.
We'll see you there. Hello and thank you for joining. My name's TJ. Joe is the co-host today. We're streaming from Geek Fortress in Snohomish, Washington. If you like Legacy, this is the place for you. Be sure to hit that follow button and join us every single Friday at 7:30. It's always a good time. Plus, if we get to 100 today, I get a hat. It's starting to look like that is not going to be the case. We're even starting to lose some people as the night goes on. So, maybe tomorrow. He has graciously said that the deal will hold on for tomorrow. So, we'll see what we can get as far as streaming more tomorrow. Hopefully you all enjoy enjoying. Let me know where you are watching from and tell me. Are you just watching? Let me know if you're watching both or if you're just watching this one. I'm okay with it. And also, let me know, if you're brand new, how you found the Geek Fortress stream. That was extremely useful to me, all things considered. In the meantime, be sure to hit that follow button because we stream every Monday at 6:30 Pacific Time, some standard. Every Wednesday and Saturday, we've got modern. Wednesdays at 7, Saturdays at 6. And every Friday at 7:30, we have got Legacy. Plus, ooh, look at that. Just this one from Villain Dude. I can appreciate this one. Kale Zill, thank you so much. I appreciate both of you. Seraphir, just watching this one. I appreciate the dedication that is happening. Plus, I also have to assume that anyone on mobile is just watching this one. All right. Tevin, you nailed it. That is fantastic. We actually do now have all of them because of the new Emrakul is our first 13 mana creature. Fun little fact for all of you. Old Kozilek is 12. Or not old. Yeah? Is that it? Old Kozilek is 12? Old Kozilek is 12. So, just tossing in some more fun things there. It is pretty sweet. Ah, man. But in the meantime, still pretty sweet. How are we doing, all things considered? I feel like we should be streaming at a pretty fine rate. Everybody going well. That's awesome. Remember to join us tomorrow. Here in Russia, we don't find streams. Streams find us. I've never actually heard that joke told by a Russian before. That's pretty fantastic. Thank you so much. Now, I believe you are relatively new. I think you hit the follow button today, so thank you so much. I assume that you, I guess we found you, which was pretty funny. But that's pretty great. I can appreciate that one a lot. What is a W minus? I'm not even sure what that even means. Oh my goodness. I don't know. Do you ever cloud shift to more? Oh no, I've never done that. I have never done that. I usually play red spells. I am TJ, sometimes known as the Red Baron. Feel free to follow on Twitter. I'll let you know when we're streaming, what we're streaming, and in general, just have fun times. And it's also the best way that you can get in touch with me. As far as just communication goes, I'll keep you updated on things that are happening. I recently lost my shoes, but I did re-find them, which is pretty exciting. Check them out. I am wearing shoes today, and that is always an exciting development for me because I do enjoy wearing them. Basically, wearing some nice. Yeah, man. I don't know. Maybe I should button this up. Nah, that'd be bad. Shouldn't button that one up. Otherwise, Joe taking a look to see if he can find another match. And I'm here talking. If you do have any questions, toss them in. If you have any comments, toss them in. If you have any feedback, especially from anybody brand new or things that you're looking for, toss it in. In the meantime, getting prepped for Portland tomorrow. That is going to be a lot of fun just before we do the modern stream at 6 o'clock Pacific time. And looking to get that Twitch partnership as we go forward. Might be working on the application tomorrow while we're doing playtesting, anytime that I am not the one currently playing. Geek Fortress, come for the magic, stay for the shoes. Hey, truer words were never spoken by anyone ever. I have to believe that that is true. I will say we do find ourselves with a certain capacity to go down many a road, and that's just the way that we go. 6 words, best type of shoe. Ooh. Comfortable dress shoes. Otherwise, tennis shoes. I don't know, anything comfortable. Comfort is big. Oh, I mean, if we're going to start going into brands, I really like Brooks for running shoes. They're really nice. Yeah.
I'm a fan of the New Balance.
You're a fan
because
of...
they fit my very wide feet.
You have wide feet. You do have wide feet. You say that, but you're not wearing New Balance right now.
No, I'm wearing my sweet Converse.
Yeah, they're mono red. I can kind of dig that.
I know, my New Balance are from I'm actually, like, out on the Centennial Trail doing stuff.
Really?
So they don't smell good now.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate you making that
I appreciate it, too.
That is super reasonable of you. Tennis shoes, boy, yeah. Mostly, I can also appreciate toe shoes. I actually have a pair of those Vibrams.
So they weird me out
They are really interesting to wear, but they're pretty fun.
A roommate freshman year of college who like didn't maintain his well, so they just stanked up the whole thing.
They do have a great capacity for this one.
Doro, yes I am.
All right, so let's see here.
And I believe the event is actually over. When I was out looking for matches, there was one person still in a game, or one match still in its game 3. But I believe as I was sitting down and shutting the door, I heard them shake hands and say those were some good games.
Oh, interesting.
Surprise, surprise, it was Lands.
Have we heard of X-Mage? Here's a fun fact. Yes, I have put a lot of consideration. It's similar to Cockatrice.
Oh, okay.
I've put a lot of consideration into streaming online as far as like MTGO goes.
Mm-hmm.
I have not yet because my internet's awful. My internet's so bad. At my at my house, I have a mobile hotspot with a data cap.
Ooh, you're still on that?
Yeah, I am
Rough.
still on that. I had dial-up until I was 19. That was 5 years ago. I had dial-up until 5 years ago, and now I've evolved to a mobile hotspot. Though I will be moving somewhat soon. As soon as I do, there's a very high chance that I'll start streaming MTGO if enough people are interested. But it seems like people have largely been interested. It would mostly be me playing Constructed, likely starting off with Burn as I start to like buy other decks, and occasionally doing a draft for the pure purpose of showing people how well I can force red.
There we go.
Because I force red.
I mean, all my best drafts have been at least part red.
As have mine, Joe. As have mine. Oh my goodness, I just figured out how to make the mustache work.
There we go.
There we go. It's just in time for the
Beautiful.
end, and we've got a mustache. Jace player, it is great to see you. We're just hanging out here having a good time. It's almost 11 here, so we're probably just going to keep, I don't know, doing that. Oh, you'll troll me to no end? That's okay. Honestly, I'm really excited by the prospect of streaming.
Yeah.
You need someone, yeah. I don't know. I guess if you want to help me out, toss in the chat. If you want to toss in the chat that you would watch me streaming, I'll be real with you all. You are all Legacy watchers. That's reasonable.
Yep.
I would try and get Legacy Burn up and running and do some other stuff, but it would likely be a lot of Modern as well. I'm going to give you that heads up now. But if anybody does have some thoughts right now as far as like, yes, I'd be interested, or no, I'm, anything like that, any and everything is always really relevant and helpful.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the hero we need but don't deserve. I think is that a compliment?
Yes.
Thank you. That's super kind of you.
And I believe we also had a question. Looks like it's just starting to get away from us in the chat. From Goldfish, our new follower. What was the most unbelievable combo we saw on Legacy Championships? And no worries about bad English. You're just fine.
No, that's solid. You're doing great. Thank you. Okay, so I'm not entirely sure like what the Legacy Championships is, but I'm assuming that this is a Star City event.
I would assume so. I don't actually watch that many events myself, but just cool Legacy stuff in general.
I've got mine. Tell me, go.
Please go ahead.
Okay, so my favorite ever, it's not quite a combo, right? It's just something that I've seen happen, and I've told you about it. You're actually the one who did it. So, my favorite is Aether Vial and Meddling Mage against Miracle cards. That is my favorite thing that I've seen.
I like it.
So, Doro, if you were looking for the quotes that aren't really worth keeping, that's probably one of them. It doesn't have a whole lot of relevance.
Yeah.
And Coleman said plenty of other stupid stuff going forward.
Yes!
Yeah. Come back to the booth, baby.
Also, I like that that's only 71 of 73, and that's from today.
Oh man, we've had 3 good ones, apparently. I couldn't tell you what they were.
4, because 73 got deleted.
No, they were the same one, though. They just
They put it up at the same time.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's absolutely true. But either way, I'm pretty excited about it. There's going to be all kinds of things. No one actually saying that they're interested in it, so that's fair. That's fair. Apparently not too many people here. That's actually pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that a lot of people are watching this one because they like watching Paper Magic. So
Very true.
It's definitely something to where as we go forward is going to be difficult. What? No one quoted the Hoobastank reference? I honestly never even saw it. Or heard it. Maybe I did, or I didn't even understand it at the time.
Yeah, I probably would miss if a Hoobastank reference was made.
That's very reasonable. Either way, I'm actually really excited about Portland. That's kind of what my focus is right now. We are going to be having, we're going to be having, a lot going on there. This next weekend, basically my next week is preparing for it. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then going down to Portland is going to be, I'm going to tell you all right now, don't expect me to do well. My intent was to test for this GP, and it's exactly as my intent was for Legacy, the LA. Things continually come up the week just before it. That is just how it goes. I will be like, this is when I'm going to be testing. Congratulations, TJ. life got in the way.
Yeah.
So I have a long-standing history of just not testing for GPs. It went okay in Legacy, or in LA.
Mhm.
It did not go very. It's probably not going to go well in Portland. Overall, I'm going to have a lot of fun. My
That's
biggest priority is going to be meeting people, having a good time, and just seeing cool stuff happen, and then
Awesome.
maybe some modern side events. Oh, and buying every Tybalt in the venue.
Of course you are.
Yeah.
I keep meaning to buy Tybalts from every shop I go to for you. I'll get on that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You just got 2 Huntmaster of the Fells for Jund. That card is really good. I like that one.
I do like Huntmaster a lot. I believe Jund is more leaning on
Kalitas?
Kalitas right now in the 4 spot.
Kalitas!
Which
Kalitas!
certainly is a strong card, but Huntmaster's so cool.
Kalitas! I don't know, as you kind of move into it, depending on your meta, the
Mhm.
fact that Huntmaster has an ETB is always super relevant.
For sure.
And it can grind you out of some of those matches. It really kind of depends on where the meta is, and I can see
Right.
a lot of situations in which Huntmaster is more consistently valuable across a wide open meta.
Right.
Kalitas is solid against some other stuff.
Kalitas is good. It always will be, but you know, it's definitely better in a very niche situation. Huntmaster just seems like it's always good. You know, there's not like a matchup where it's just terrible. It's got effects that are always relevant, assuming it resolves.
How many Tybalts is too many Tybalts? 6 words. Enough spares to make a body pillow. If I have enough spares to make a Tybalt body pillow, I've got too many. Now, granted, I'll never have spares because I love them all.
Never enough. Have you met TJ?
Thanks, Joe. Yeah, I mean, really, I highly recommend it, mostly because I want to meet all of you. So I recommend it. Plus, you can see my sweet Tybalt collection. I'm up to 100 and I think 17.
Nice. Do
Yeah.
you have a committed binder just for Tybalts?
No, they're all actually in a deck box.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty, but I'm gonna have to consolidate them somehow.
We're gonna have to get you like a nice briefcase for them.
Ooh, yes.
Just have like crack open a briefcase just full of $100 bills. No, TJ got a briefcase full of Tybalts.
Best transform card in Modern. 6 words. Okay, so I guess before we go, we've got Delver and Huntmaster, kind of the 2 that come to mind for me. Otherwise, we don't have a whole lot happening. The new cards are a potential option, but nothing is really striking me as super, super relevant yet. So, I'm going to say... slap down a Delver. Get there.
I like the Eldrazi pig. Yeah.
Senior Citizen 16. You're really interested in learning Magic and know nothing about it. Is there any online Magic game besides Magic Duels that you can play to learn? So there's some, like Magic Duel the Planeswalkers, as I assume what you're referencing. That's probably one of the better ones for learning. Otherwise, for a way to learn, I'm not sure that as far as playing to learn, it might be worth looking into. I can't think of anything beyond duels. I mean, there is
Yeah.
Magic Online, but that is going to
I
be
wouldn't
much
say
more
that's a good
complicated.
intro play. No. Also, transform card Garruk Relentless
Yeah,
seems good.
but I'm not sure if I'd recommend anything over duels.
Yeah.
To be honest, to you,
No,
with you. What is? I guess let's start at this from a different angle. What is it about duels that does not work for you, and we can approach as a potential alternate option for you?
Yeah.
Let us know. Best transform card is Garruk. Best flip card. So the best flip card is a little bit different. So those are the ones that rotated from
Yeah.
Kamigawa. I'm gonna go with the one that if you cast 3 or more spells, flips into make everything uncounterable. It can drop early, and I have actually seen some shells going for the quest for quest for the Holy Relic or quest for the Relic, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Run a shell of actually playing that one to flip it really early with Memnites and Ornithopters and just lock out their opponent that way.
Gross. The only one I really know of is, I don't even know the name. It flips into something's essence. I don't know others.
6 words, best flip card. That dude that flips then counters.
There we go.
Nailed it! Look at me go. Look at me go. I'm just sitting here with my man Joe. We're sitting on the stream from Geek Fortress because we like to do this cause Legacy best. Look at that. Look at me go.
I wasn't sure how you were going to wrap it up on that last line, but
I don't know. We just be
Nailed it.
going up against the Proto. Look at me go. I don't even know. That was by
Oh.
accident.
And also, speaking of the Pro Tour, thank you to everyone who's still sticking out, watching the stream with us, all 45 of you who, even though the tournament is over, just hanging out, talking with us, letting us answer silly questions, even though there's also the Pro Tour stream going on right now.
Chaos, it's great having you. Thank you so much for joining us. I know that you're Chaos because that 047 is really impactful. I think that I'm really excited by the fact that you're the 47th of all this Chaos, and I think that we might have had our methodology down by now.
I think I'm really excited that they're already prepared for there to be at least 999 of them.
With the 0?
Yeah.
That's really
They've got
true.
the extra placeholder. They know there's going to be a lot of chaos.
That's true. We are sorry to everybody for saying that there is unfortunately no more matches. Right now we're thinking about hosting over to someone, and
We could probably host the Pro Tour. They look like they need the followers.
you understand the basics for the most part. You want to learn deck building and being able to use and understand multi-elemental decks because they're really confusing. I'm assuming that you mean multicolor. So multicolors with their somewhat diverse mana base. So I guess my next step for you is to actually really highly recommend finding your local game store.
Yeah.
I know that online is a big draw for you, but I think that if you can find a local game store for yourself, and that's really, there's the Wizards website that can help you find one. But otherwise, I'd try and check that out. Just Google game stores in your area. If you go there and let them know exactly what you're looking for, you can potentially have someone teach you how to draft, which is a great way to go about deck building. You do want to know the basics. I'd expect to have a bit of a rough time, but it'll help you a lot of that. But Magic Duels is really good for, I think Magic, I haven't played
I
Magic
haven't
Duels
played it myself. Although, I don't know, I'd say drafting is a good way to learn deck building because that can be very difficult if you don't really have your deck building style and knowledge already in place.
That's
I
true.
wouldn't say start with draft.
That's a pretty reasonable point.
Once you are
Tell
getting
them that
more
you're new to the
comf-
game, and they will throw commons and uncommons at you.
Yes, that's also very true.
And start throwing them together.
But then also, or just put together a deck. Just start somewhere. It doesn't matter if it's the best you could do, and then go to your local shop and see if you can get advice. And you'll get 4 people telling you 4 completely different things, but they'll all be able to tell you their reasons and their thought process, and you can start to compile deck building styles and strategies, and that's just a great way to learn more about the game.
Here's my thought. If you want to learn how to do deck building, this is my most basic advice for deck building. You ready? 60 cards in the deck. Now, if you want to build a consistent deck that you're going to know what it's trying to do, you're going to want 4 of each of your card. We're not going to go into the intricacies of changing that number. 4 of every card. If you want to be able to cast your spells, let's start off at 24 land automatically. What that means is that you have 36 spots left. 36 divided by 4, you left with 9. So, here is my deck building advice to you. For beginners, start 1 color, pick 9 cards that you think work well together. That's it. That's your base level. Throw them together, add 24 of the land that goes for that color. Try it. See what works, what doesn't. If you find yourself that you have no early game plays, maybe you take out one of the late game ones, move it towards the beginning. Every time you do it, start making changes to where you keep tuning it to do what you want it to be doing as a singular game plan.
And also, try not to make too many changes at once if you have the time to put in a lot of playtesting. Because we go like, this didn't work, I'm going to change out 4 of the cards in my deck, and it still doesn't work.
You don't know which one.
Why.
Yeah.
If you make one change at a time and see how it affects the way the deck plays, you'll know if that was a relevant change and if you want to keep it or if you want to go back to your previous list. So making small changes progressively and just letting the deck build that way is also going to get you a much nicer end result.
Yep. And then as you start to go forward with that one, dive into multicolor ones. You have 24 land. Run 12 of each. Again, run 2 different colors of cards in there.
Yep.
Very likely, unless you have a perfect 50-50 split on what you put in there, which is possible, you will maybe want one of the colors more than others. But again, you'll find that out as you test it. And then you can start shifting those numbers. So the deck initially will not be good. You'll have a lot of green and a little bit of red, something like that.
Yeah.
And you'll have a 50-50 split. Well, as you keep going, you'll think to yourself, okay, I definitely want the green mana. Let's take out some of these mountains, put in some of these forests.
And also, if you're new, just in general, blue's not the easiest color to start with. You can go for it, but a lot of the things you play, unless you're just going mono blue flyers,
Play what you like.
blue can be a little iffy.
Red
but-
and green will be the simplest.
Yeah. And white's not too bad either.
White is not too bad either.
But yeah, red and green are definitely really solid starting colors.
I would agree with that one.
Mhm.
I would agree with them. And I just never left.
Yeah.
I've been starting
I-
for 6 years.
I feel like it might go green, red, white, black, blue
I
in
would agree.
terms of like
Uh,
starting the game.
It depends. Actually, I
mean-
would see a reasonable argument for switching black and blue, because black has so many abilities that are like seemingly negatives.
Fair enough.
Depending on the mentality of the player,
Mhm.
then they may not. The variability in resources can definitely be a change.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, we're kind of coming out of stuff to talk about, so if you have anything for us to discuss, toss it into that chat. I'm down to talk about basically Magic, Life, Modern,
Yeah.
Legacy, Standard, I suppose, GPs, what we're going to do for this pizza hangout, how excited we are about it as we move forward,
Yep.
different ideas that we have for the stream, feedback, comments. Tell me a little bit about how awesome your cat is.
Oh yeah.
Seriously, it's going to be awesome. If you have anything like that, otherwise, as it starts to drive a little bit more, we'll just try and find something to host over to that looks interesting, and we might just call it a night. And
Yeah.
I am going to go. I guess. Celebrate the
And
evening.
as always, if you're not able to get your questions to us in the chat tonight, if we end up closing down the stream and you think of something later, always feel free to send questions to either TJ or myself at our Twitter accounts, which you can see in the corner down that away, wherever it is, and also right above us.
Yes. I tend to be somewhat active on Twitter. Any and all questions, senior citizen, this especially applies to you.
Yep.
Feel free to get in touch with me. I have the exact same username on Reddit. I can be reached through that. I can also be reached through Twitter. Any questions that you come up against, I'm more than happy to give assistance as I have time, which is usually pretty good. Let's see here. Just so. Our other biggest advice. This is a huge one. Ask questions. You're doing great. Always be well open to asking questions. That is the
Yes.
best way to learn the game.
For sure.
What would I do if Lightning Bolt got banned? Play Affinity and Wreckface all day. Lightning Bolt is not an aggro card within the context of Modern. Lightning Bolt is a control card.
Yep.
That is a plain and simple fact. People who argue that Lightning Bolt should be banned clearly want a more linear aggro meta.
I'd probably just switch to Fork Bolt, honestly.
Realistically, and it would be worse. And you
It
would
would
lose
be.
games for it.
I fully accept that. But my opponents wouldn't have Bolt either, so
Yeah, but they'd have Galvanic Blast. Because I'd be on Affinity. Or an Infect would be insanely good.
yeah.
Infect and Affinity get way better. Death Shadow Zoo gets way better.
Also, play Shock. I mean, Bolt gets banned, there are cards to replace it.
But the
Yeah,
the
no,
meta
I-
gets more linear. I can tell you that much
I agree.
right now.
Yeah.
It is not a good change to ban Bolt.
Mm-hmm.
I've actually put a lot of thought into that one.
Yeah.
Because people argue to me all the time that Lightning Bolt should be banned because it's such a large portion of the meta and all things like that.
No.
Senior Citizen, are there different playstyles within Magic besides aggro? Yes! So let's go ahead and break it down into the big three, and everybody's going to toss in their kind of disagreeals with this one, but nonetheless, hey, crisp like Dylan, love that name. Thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you next time. Join us next week, Friday, same time.
Yep.
I won't be here, but I'm going to get people to cover for it. Joe,
I'll
you're
be
gonna
here.
Joe is going to be here, so we're going to make it. It might be a smaller legacy tournament because
Yeah.
we're going to make it happen. We're going to just have fun.
Yeah, I will be here this upcoming Friday, and then I'll be out of town the Friday following. Actually, I might be back the next Friday.
Yep.
We'll see.
But otherwise, are there different playstyles? Yes. So
Yep.
you tend to have it break it down to three big ones. You have aggro. This is a deck which is trying to be the one. Let's break this into you want to be the one asking questions or providing answers. Questions and a threat that will win the game. An answer being a card that will answer
Yeah.
that will eliminate their threat. So you have aggro, a deck that almost entirely wants to ask those questions and put out threats and pressure their opponent into winning and try and win the game as much as possible, as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
Then you have, thank you so much for the follow.
Thank you.
We have also got the option of control. Control is a deck that is all about answering them. So what it tries to do is have a bunch of answers to what their opponent is trying to do, prevent them from their game plan, and then eventually take over the game through one solid solid win condition that can just take over incrementally over the game. Again, there's so much variation within these. I'm breaking it down to very bland. Combo is a deck that tries to circumvent the normal flow of a game.
Right.
Combo tends to take a very powerful interaction that works, two cards that are singularly not super effective, but together create some sort of win condition, very effective combo, and go through to attack the game from a different angle and try and assemble this while surviving until that point.
Right. So instead of playing I'm going to play a creature and then attack with it and play another creature and attack with both of them, they just do nothing, do nothing, do nothing, do nothing, and then win the game in one go.
Yep.
That's usually what a combo deck is trying to do.
I'm not allowed to have a life outside the stream. Lucky for you, I barely manage it. If Bolt got banned, you'd play Scred? That's true, that's true.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, overall, if Bolt got banned, Modern would not be better. I can tell you that right now. And this... there's so many... So in between Control and Aggro, you have mid-range. You also actually have Tempo as varying degrees.
Yeah.
But this is all you will learn those as you go.
I mean, there's a ton of different... as we said, as TJ said, this is just the big three, and there's, of course, plenty of variation on all of this. There's a plethora of different styles you can play. This is just the core deck ideas. Of course, there is mid-range, there is tempo, there's everything in between, but, these are just the three pillars of deck building style.
Hold on, I'm going to try and do something here.
You try and get us a new freeze frame. What are you doing, TJ?
That was my tongue. I tried to have my tongue look like my lower lip.
Not bad.
We're just being a little bit odd at this point.
Yeah.
So we're kind of slowing down here. Let's take a look. I'm going to start digging through. Now, we do have... let's see here.
Someone we can host.
Not a whole lot of people are also trying to go up against them.
Yeah.
And there's not many that I know. How about Haruya? Haruya is pretty good.
All right.
Yeah. So let's do that one. We're going to, we've somewhat devolved. So, we're going to call it a night and go to it. But join us 6 o'clock Pacific time tomorrow for Modern, which it may not be Legacy, but it's definitely not the Pro Tour.
Yeah.
Which is either a good thing or a bad thing, depending. We could host the Pro Tour. I mean, now it's time to vote. Do you want Haruya or Pro Tour? Or there's another option, which is a weird one. We can host you to someone who isn't currently streaming, but you should hit the follow button on them, and that would be our way to demonstrate you. It would be Stryfo. His name is Chase Hansen. Phenomenal Legacy player. Plays a lot of Legacy. Top 4 to GP here in Seattle. Comes from our store. An incredibly entertaining person. Great streamer, actually.
And a fantastic guy.
Yeah.
And Doro, good night. Thank you for being here in the stream with us.
So, vote on those three. You've got Haruya, the Pro Tour, and Chase, who is not currently streaming, but it's worth discovering that stream and joining him later tonight.
For sure.
Toss in your thoughts into that chat. I know that there's only 40 of you, but hey, every little bit counts in those kinds of situations, especially when you're contending with something that's massive. Like, we would be putting Haruya up to 46 by bringing 40 people in.
Nice.
So, that's kind of the level, we're doing pretty well by being number 3 with 40 people.
Yeah, that's pretty solid there. It tapers off pretty fast here.
Our Jorgensen, I didn't even see you in the chat too much. Ooh. It's great seeing you. All right, looks like we are looking to host over to Chase. We're going to do that. So, I can definitely appreciate that. When you do find it, I cannot tell you this enough. I cannot stress this enough. It's worth hitting that follow button. Chase is an awesome guy. Great streamer. Definitely tell him hi for me. Yeah, he's all kinds of fun. So, we're going to do that. It's going to be a little bit weird that it's not streamed. But in the meantime, join us tomorrow. There's always going to be more from Geek Fortress in Snohomish, Washington, competing with the Pro Tour and getting crushed. My name's TJ.
My name's Joe.
And whether it's good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, we hope it's a good one. And until next time, I guess. Wait. Until next time. Yeah, we'll see you there. I messed that up. Have a good night, everybody.